going to beat me ever again.
We are currently streaming live on Twitch. I'm going to leave links to both of our Twitch channels in the description. Go
not
check
a direct,
that out.
hey, Bethesda, you're wrong, or nothing direct, hey, we need justice. This is a call-out, if anything.
Yes.
A Vault-Tec end of eras is upon us, people.
They need to...
And it's about time for the great creators of the Wasteland to realize the ones who own it are false prophets, evil seeds amongst our irradiated soil, feeding off our own dismay and issues.
And when we request the simplest of things, hell, it's not fair that just because someone has influence, they have the right to request the smallest of things. And you know what the worst part is? The game companies will listen to that, but they won't ever even see us.
Recording, but are we recording?
Yes.
I just want to get into our little thing and go on my little rant about what's going to start happening soon in the next few years. This is a call out from the true Vault-Tec Society, the ones who aren't as who are done being pushed around, who are done being treated like dirt. And I am Vault-Tec. I stand for the greater good of the wasteland and the greater good of the people inhabiting it. I joined my little occupation pre-made as the Vault-Tec representative for one thing: to prove to people in this game the game was great, it was good. Even though the game kind of set up against Vault-Tec, and what's their true motives? But I am Vault-Tec. Bethesda is an evil seed planted upon our wasteland. As they took away what little integrity was left, and created Fallout 76 and the Vault, and all the things in it as a Trojan virus, if you will, planting their seeds of one man, a large company, and his higher ups, where a blind cannot see such. Over the years of Todd Howard's little terrorist reign, or kingdom reign, whatever you would like to call it, he has done very little to connect with the community. He's done more than anything than just rant about on Twitter about, see if YouTubers like this, or if they're goofing in your game as much as they are in this Fallout game on any platform, you're not doing your job. And it went from being cry for help, I could really use this amount of ammo, but for some reason the game just won't give me my rewards, or if you have to dupe a set of power armor or make the game screw up to get into God mode to flat out beat your board game within 2 days, you're doing a hell of a job here, people, because it went from a call for help to the hope of help arriving was flatlined by one man and a company who does not give a damn about the Wastelanders. People of this stream on the power of Vault-Tec, I say to you, we're not alone. We were also silenced by the game. The Atomic Onslaught power armor was something I created for a game I've been working on for 2 years.
2 fucking years.
That was an add-on section of the game for a tank paint for an enemy line thing, where my game let you play as the enemy every so often to get the full story, instead of being like Fallout or another game where it's like, oh look, it's second playthrough and you can make a different choice. It let you each level decide you want to be good or bad, or the good people, the main story characters, or the soldiers, or the enemy soldiers. Atomic Onslaught paint, the design itself was put on a tank for nuclear mobilized warfare. all of it. None of it was reskinned for their purposes at all. And they stole, I printed off a picture of a power armor off of a free website. It wasn't even power armor. It was the next suit. It was Japanese something. Some kind of Japanese whatever that I have family members that would probably be able to say what it is. Japanese, so I don't know. And someone got wind of it and told Bethesda that a guy somewhere in America is painting power armors with paint and saying that it's his. They were flat out telling Bethesda that I was stealing power armor paints, or stealing not the paint but the model. And they copyrighted it. They took my paint and they took a lot of stuff. I got in trouble with them. The government was like, well, he's not doing anything wrong, so he's legal. But Bethesda pushed it away so much that I'm afraid to continue making my game.
And what hurts me is I made some music for that game.
At that time frame, Brian, the paint wasn't really done.
Right.
I've actually been working on paint since I decided to make the game about military forces, kind of an homage to the Call of Duty franchise a little bit, maybe make a couple mentions. In a way, it's kind of like take all the combat games, take a little bit of inspiration from them, legal inspiration. Like, I played lots of Call of Duty as a kid. I finally remember the 360 Call of Duty. I played, and I still play Mortal Kombat on the Game Boy. That's hand-to-hand combat that the soldiers might take note of in a scenario, a list of things that the Mortal Kombat franchise may have used of real-world training of martial arts to overpower and take down an enemy soldier. A Bowie knife, combat knife, well, you don't have it. The game will put you in that scenario, and you've got to either remember your training and choose a style you choose, and based on your style, the game will test you via scenarios. Do like actual gameplay. But the tank was a railgun tank that was captured from the good guy's side, the side that my character will even make a debut in. It was stolen or captured, I think, but the guys were captured, and now the tank's being used as reverse engineering and on the battlefield. Now here we are, new first season's out, but that's just like Atomic Onslaught. Woo, we're so creative. Excuse me, it's not yours, but this is like pretty much okay, and they owe me a royalty on such. Because I haven't given paperwork for this game, and everything down to the paints on the tank, and they're sitting here making bank off of my paint. And what's worse is, because it's in their game, it's legally theirs, apparently. You know how much shit they've stolen, or that is theirs, or taken the idea.
Hell, they've taken shit straight from the...
is required, and they've weaseled their way out. Or hell, let's talk about the people that are doing quote-unquote wrong deeds to gain benefit. I looked up their code of conduct recently, and let me mind you, their website's really shit. Their links to their websites are very, very shit, and also can lead you to be hacked and cheated, or they'll get you to sign up a petition or something while you're trying to just get into the website. It's like, you have cookies. Your cookies are turned off. Accept this terms of agreement, and they'll say this for one thing, but if you don't know your legal work, you don't know the law, okay, we just made you accept the fact that whatever legal work you do, because they look and see what you do IRL, and if you do something they like look for a game that goes through Microsoft, like, let's say, for example, Rockstar, or someone smaller, let's go a little bit smaller, say Fun Pimps, or Obsidian, a guy who works for that company is trying to, as it's done a game like Skyrim. He's on his vacation and was like, okay, this game was pretty cool, so I'll give it a go. He can't navigate the website, like I sure as hell can, and they have to give you links to do it. And he has the issue, so he contacts Bethesda, says, "Let me help you navigate to this spot." They send you to a link, and you're the worker. You get sent to the link, and as soon as you click it, it's like there's something wrong with your browser. That's preventing us from helping this link to work. Accept these kinds of agreements, and a lot of it literally requires lawyers to explain to you what's going on. If you click accept and don't read it, and if you don't know what you're doing, you click accept, you lost the right to your own company. All of it. You just, without your consent and your knowledge, they will flatline you. Bethesda is produced things like, oh look, you took advantage intentionally or otherwise. You were caught doing something else, like duping. Many times that I've played the game, I found a bug where you could get in your set of power armor in a glitch, and when it's done glitching, you could, from that time frame where it started to this time it stops, you could go do things like go underground camping, or sit here and run through solid objects while it's glitching out, or their game is so bugged, and then when someone finds it, even if they find it accidentally, it's like permaban. If you've been banned or suspended and you feel like you've been done wrong, come visit us.
Please.
It's time for Bethesda had their chance to step up and be a company that didn't focus on unmorally correct options and money bags to do their job. God has had his chance since the very beginning, since he hadn't been part of Bethesda, getting rejected 5 times and then coming back and then eventually weaseling his way in. He had his chance from that very first day to make Fallout continue a legacy. Then they soon got a hold of all Fallout games. I would even venture to say that at this point they own Doom and Wolfenstein too. Not the number 2, but all of Wolfenstein. And here they are making a Fallout game that is not Fallout. They used the Fallout title to sow an evil seed, to quite literally feed the seed off of your despair, dismay, punishment, hatred, sadness, and say, ban everyone that's played start to the end because we're done with them. Fallout 76 is bad because they want it to be bad. Fallout 76 is going to screw everyone over because he wants profit. Well, do you think you can go online? Why don't you do me a favor? Go online while you're doing this and look up how much the merchandise is in the Fallout in the Bethesda store. Like the Mr. Handy model or the one that moves. We can also talk about how they knew about the power armor paint or the power armor helmet being moldy. They knew about it. They knew the Nuka-Cola Dark product would hurt people or make them sick or just be terrible. They knew it. Everything that's happened to them, they knew what's going to happen. They sent it out anyway. They also refused refunds to people who had those products and gave you like all the other nonsense. You know, it's all. Let's talk about cults for a minute to further get what I'm trying to mention here. What does it take to run a cult, run by followers and what? A charismatic leader. What is Todd? A poor one, but he's still charismatic because people still work for him. So think of Bethesda like a small cult that's getting money off of people. What did he say on the very first day of the E3? Biggest map ever, basically. So much more res and all this other technological nonsense that was alive. Get go. What do you do? Nothing. Oh yeah, you bought a backpack? It's really shit. Oh look, you don't like the game? You want a refund? Nah, you don't get it. You can't have it. Australia said give us our money back, and they cut Bethesda out of there. They joined the many people in countries where the countries say Bethesda is not allowed to have their games in our country.
Nuka-Cola My Blood's in it, bottle light, $20. Annihilator MK2 Sentry Bot statue, $95.
But then they won't give you a refund on that. Even if the thing says they will, they won't. And they'll do things like not talk to you about it. They might say, yeah, you can have a refund, but they'll cause an issue of some sort intentionally along the way and say,
the Pip-Boy 2000 is $150.
There was an issue. Hold on, let me refund this. And they'll fake type, and then they'll be like, oh, but it looks like you never ever sent us something or whatever, and we can't give you a refund. That's what I told people in many parts of the world. You can't have a refund because you paid for our game and don't like it. No. And then Todd's sitting in the background counting some money like 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, and I'm not losing any money. I got charged a lot of money recently because an atom shot bug is what they called it. No, they just want to get paid $2,000. I bought a $500 atom bundle thing for something for 500 atoms, and it cost me the same amount of money as a 1,000 bundle. And then shortly after, I was charged upwards of $2,000, just about exactly $2,000. It was like 1,900 something and some odd cents. I told my wife to shut the bank account down because someone's screwing with us. The record never said what it was for. I never could get in contact with Bethesda. I never could resolve the issue. We're still having to pay that off because we don't have that much money. And Brahma knows this. This ain't the first time I've gotten on my Xbox and played a Fallout game or a game in general, and some player I met in Fallout got pissed off that I didn't want to be around them. Or what was that one dude that was like, I didn't want to knock my prices down to just 1,000 cows, just 1,000 for a quad lever action rifle.
That fucker, I still remember his name.
Back up for a minute before you mention it. I'm going to tell you what he said. And you know this. He said, R-A-N-word. You're going to give me $30K for every single thing in my store. Or I'm going to make sure you do. He threatened me. Okay? I didn't answer because I was busy doing something else. He showed up when I was busy and was chunking off explosive bait, exploiting the game to get more caps. Okay? I got away like 2 seconds, and I got opening, and I got out. 5 days later, he messaged me and said, "Thank you for the money to buy me a new set of atoms. You're too kind. It all could have been avoided if you gave me $30K. I didn't even have but $200 because I'd already purchased some things with the money.
Yeah, we didn't even have the caps to buy the damn thing, which is why we was trying to trade it off. Had trade after trade after trade offer.
Right.
And he refused every fucking one of them.
Here's what I want to mention. Some people are doing things like that as less of a cry for help and not proving a point. Now, after him, it changed. Things change. Yeah, Bethesda will only do what they want to do when they want to do it. They don't reach out to players and say, we're sorry that the game's fucking you over, and no matter how hard you try, you're only getting 5 reps from the Raiders, and you're like, 30 or so from being done? Oh wait, now you're getting 1 or 2? I looked it up. My game was so broken at one exact point that I got 1 rep for doing the better options. You know, you pick a better dialogue option with usually some kind of enhancement like charisma or strength or to get a better reward on those missions. And Ren, Roxy, both of them, and I did not participate in that glitch. I heard about that glitch and I thought about it, but at the time I was like, it's not worth getting banned just for a gal's minigun. What did I say right before I actually had to hunker down and grind for my? If I don't get the rep that they kind of owe, that the game owes me, I'm going to do what?
Glitch.
I'm going to exploit the glitch until I get the owed rep they gave me. I was prepared to get banned for it. And here's Bethesda, every time you send a bug of a port in, like for example, Chloe and Playtime doesn't work anymore for me. I can't navigate the website. Bromby had to get a fucking link to get to the point you needed to be. They had to let him in via link to have this problem resolved. That's what I mean. They don't want you navigating their website. They want you to go
I had
where
to
they
find the
need you.
direct fucking submit a ticket page. I couldn't get it through the original Bethesda website. I had to do it through submit a ticket.
Right. But they don't want you seeing or doing things that doesn't benefit them. See, that's why they have separate websites probably and separate things, because they've purposely set their stuff up to route us around like cattle. If I can keep this player away from certain things and only let him in where I want him to go, that'll get me more money, then fine. If I have to put the rep system on a separate forum or whatever to get more screen time, to get me whatever, by some miracle it makes them more money, they're going to do it. It's Bethesda we're talking about. You know, it's funny because I used to believe they weren't greedy and they weren't cheap, and then I met a guy who works for the company, flat out proved it to me and said, the rumors you hear are not rumors, and I don't plan on staying long because they are doing this to the people. They're banning people and taking people to court, even players, for things such as simple as mentioning in a video or the game that they didn't find okay to mix with their brand, making a mod on Fallout 4 that they felt was disapproving of the company in Fallout 4. How they banned a kid, like, what is it in for a mature game, right? What age rating is that supposed to be, under teens and up? Or like late teens and up or something like that? The kids that play these games, that get like the 6-year-olds and under, that get these games for their birthdays or hell for Christmas, they're at risk of getting banned because they're too young to play the game. But doesn't like it, and they'll ban the kids. You know, that's why players like that don't get helped by the company when another player decides he wants to go greedy and wipe that kid's account. But that still won't help that kid, because they're going to tell the kid, you're too young to be playing an M-rated game. Fortnite looks like it's more your style. But I got it for my birthday or Christmas. I wanted to. Sorry, kid, not my problem. Goes back to counting their fat stacks as they ban the kid permanently. They ain't no stranger to doing bad stuff. And then when they get attention for it, what do they not do? They don't handle it right. They ban the people that brought attention to them, and then they don't fix it. Every update, they fix one thing or a small number of things that didn't need to be fixed, but needed it. What they have their version of fix is more or less the actual term of enhancement. They're using the word fix. And in a nutshell, they're not fixing their game. They don't want to fix their game. Fixing their game makes them lose money. Getting a new engine, money.
Fixing their game makes them lose hype. I've been thinking about this as well.
They coined all their shit on hype, and I'll let Rob talk about that.
I want to talk about this. What have you been seeing recently in the past few updates? Yeah, Wastelanders. Wastelanders was kind of...
okay.
I'm going to talk about the game, but just know this. I approve a little bit of the game itself, but I am complete in disapproval of the company. I am not impressed. But what have you been seeing recently? Wastelanders is coming out. And hell, they've been rewarding people for sending them pictures for the Wendigo Colossal Wendigo Wednesday, the Mothman Monday. That shit.
You can really benefit. You'll get rewarded by being put on their site. That's really about it.
Yeah.
You think they will give you more shit.
But now what are they doing? They're putting shit on the radio about the Brotherhood of Steel. They're planning their Brotherhood of Steel update when they should be preparing to fix most of the bugs that they've been seeing. Fix the bugs before you make the important updates.
By an official source from an ex-dev that helped with that shit, he quit his job after he finished his part because he knew. He said, I know 100% the Brotherhood of Steel update is going to break some things with the community, and I'm not going to be part of the community or the company when the community decides to get their combat rifles and tear down Bethesda's digital doors and demand reimbursement. He refused to elaborate on any further, but I knew the guy personally. He said, I'm not going to be a part of it. I worked with them, specifically the company, I would say at this point, might as well use a third party in there because, I was getting paid for things, but it wasn't for doing them anything. It was something else on my end. And I would even venture to say that could be how they stole my armor or my armor paint, or the paint that was used for the armor. I called it armor paint as well in the game because it's tank armor. But that he even said that update is going to screw some stuff up, and they're not going to care. Therefore, I'm leaving because I don't want to be part of the firing line when it comes time for them to tell Bethesda it's time to go. I said, I don't blame you, man, and I wouldn't be too surprised if someone ripped the rug out from under Todd in the next few years. This is why I say I am Vault-Tec. It's time for Todd to go. It's time for Bethesda to go and do. Quit banning people for doing shit that's in your game because it's already in the. If it wasn't in the game, it wouldn't be necessary. Correct?
Yes.
If this was an external source, like someone hacked in their own code, by all means ban them. But it's not. It's part of your game. You're doing it, and then you're killing people's characters by banning them permanently for finding it accidentally, or even then finding it and then taking advantage of it. Because again, many times if you ran around the wasteland, searched the thing, and said, I didn't get as much junk as I was hoping I would. Guess I'm about to do it again. New server. Many times you had a server hop before something was there, and you basically were inconvenient for junk hunting. People have been banned for duping razor grain because they couldn't get enough razor grain to give to players at their camps because they had a hard time finding it in a massive amount where it could go bad. But does ban that dude for duping it in? But
it's easier to fix the problem than it is to try and fix the people.
Right. And they don't want to do that. If anything to me, I'm going to say this from an actual tech perspective, William, he understands what they're going through is wrong, and he says straight up, there's two things that a company will ban a player for doing. One of them is where they're doing it on purpose, the person playing as a character will do a thing on purpose on multiple occasions to benefit publicly and publicly make note of the fact that your game is not on par with what you say. So basically someone that goes extra, read all about it, hides stuff in his pockets with a half-assed baked pie, he's getting bricked off that pie. That pie is now moldy and terrible. People kind of know it, but they can't do anything about it. Todd's making so much bank, if you try to stop it, he's going to say, how about no? And he's going to go, money to shut you down. I told that to you. When you start this, and by some miracle, it gets big, you got to be okay with the fact that they're going to shut us down when we start getting big. I won't stop if they perma-mandate. I don't even care, because I spent way too long doing the reputation system. Only to get, like, towards the very end, I had 30 or less rep to get. And they were giving me one a day from the Raiders. And then one day, Roxy just stopped doing. 4 days I had to wait. 4 whole days. Business and otherwise at this point. Before Roxy's like, oh, hey, I got a former Raider that failed. Can you do something about that? Yeah, sure. Oh, hey, look, you finally got that Raider. Thanks. Have 1 rep.
1 fucking rep.
Fuck. And I even did the little thing where you talk to them, like, you know, with certain of them, they give you, like, charisma or intelligence this. Because there's sometimes they give you some, if you meet a requirement, they'll pull it up and actually make it visible. I tried to charisma a little bit with Red, and 1 rep.
1.
And I'm assuming that's the rep for doing the charisma. I got 1. So I could imagine what would happen if I didn't charisma her a little bit and did that for her. Oh boy, I bet you I get 0. And I actually tested that one of the days. I was right. I got 0 one day. No rep, no bull, and I got no bullying for doing that as well.
It was having to grind for the rep.
Right.
And I was happy to help you to grind the rep, and then the very next day, you asked me, do you want to go bullion hunting? Or something like that. You want to help me get some bullion? I said, I'm down. Because I knew exactly what was up. Because if it were up to me, all of the events and all of the dailies would give caps, bullion, and script.
Here's my proposition to those that might be watching or will be watching, so I imagine this will be uploaded shortly after we end the stream, correct?
Yes.
This is one of those things where I don't do a lot of streaming like that, where it keeps
right,
it.
and this will be free for people to watch while it's streaming.
For those watching or in the future watching, this is the plea and a request from Voltec. Ditch Bethesda. And join us in a boycotting and an uprising to make them listen. We will be passive aggressive. We won't be going to Maryland and having a riot or anything. But what we're going to be doing is costing them money. And we need people to quit playing the game.
We need people to quit playing the game, and we need people to spread the word.
And if you've been screwed over before by the company for anything at all, banned, suspended, kicked from the PTS, and you know it's wrong, what they did, let us know. Send us information. If you got sued by them or banned and had to sue them for something, or hell, or even at this point denied the legal right to have a refund of your game, we need to know. People need to know. Tell your story the way it happened. Taking no sides about them that knows it was wrong or not. That's what we're going to be doing. It's time to make Bethesda step up or step down. And like I said, we at Voltec believe they need to step down. They've ruined our wasteland with misdeeds and wrongdoings. And they're only using our most recent date of the timeline, 25 years after the bombs dropped, and Bethesda's sitting here making the most millionaire bucks they could possibly make off of all of our problems. It's time for them to go. It really is. This is not a petty, oh, I'm mad because yada yada. This has been happening since beta. This is the very beginning when he mentioned big world, big everything. Oh, it's so much better in res. Oh, look at this backpack you purchased. It's amazing. And then you get the backpack and it's like, Yeah, amazing backpack. I can wipe my ass with this thing. Give me my money back. No. That's what they say.
I can't
How
even
about
wipe
no?
my ass with a standard backpack.
No, I'm not talking about the in-game backpack. That's a load of bullshit itself with the one word count. That one's a whole load of bullshit within itself. That's them laughing at low levels and saying, get good. You can't carry stuff like a normal human being. Here's you a backpack that won't do unless you're grinding 20 levels a day. My daughter Kate had a bigger account at one point on my tag that had level 20, and she only had a backpack at level 10 when she hit level 25. It was a level 10 backpack unlock. It wasn't even on par with the leveling system. They're just basically flat out laughing at the low levels. Like, oh look, you can't do what everyone else is doing. Here's a backpack that's going to make your life more inconvenient. It was so bad for Kate that she quit playing. And then when my other daughters, my daughters I mentioned, when the other ones started playing, 2 younger ones, they immediately lost interest because they realized how much of an issue it is to play a game that doesn't, with a company that doesn't care. The amount of enemy spawns have been increasing every update, every so many updates, not every update exactly, but about every update. Just about every single update, the enemy spawn increases by 5. Target rules never attacked with that much radiation and attack damage, where it was one tapping me, and I'm in power armor and in body armor. And they're like mowing me down. Like I got hit by a fucking freight train, literally. Chill out, Bethesda. This literally, you guys just saying fuck you. That's all they're saying at this point. You tell them, you send a ticket. And they got back with you on which ones. How many tickets you sent and which ones
I
they
sent
get on to you.
five or six tickets. All of them but one was responded to. And I'll even mention what I sent the tickets on. I sent the tickets on 2 players. A bug on Chloe.
Just don't mention the names of the players.
I'm not mentioning their names. 2 players, a bug on Chloe, a turret problem that happened recently, and I think it was another player. They didn't respond to the one on turrets. The one that was most important, because we had been seeing for 3 fucking months that turrets had been broken as hell. That they keep shooting everything in our damn tent or camp.
And Chloe never fixed either. They replied, but again, they're giving me information that I tried already. Because they're like, oh yeah, make sure that it's actually done.
They're making
you contact us again.
It's like it's almost like they're too lazy. They ask you to do the thing.
That's all they're saying, though. Make sure that since you work and you're 100% sure that's the problem before contacting us again. Meaning, hey, I'm lazy. I don't care you're having an issue. Fuck off. That's pretty much what they said to you, Rabbi. And in the game, in the company world, that's them saying, fuck off, I don't care. To make sure you're having the problem before you bother us again. That's not how you take on a game report.
And that's not how you take charge.
William even mentions that's wrong. Because he says a company like that will hit their peak and then they'll flatline like a heart monitor because they can't do their job. And then they start losing money and they start doing wrong things to get attention and money. They go to West Virginia every year, Brownbite. The birthday of Fallout or something like that. And they go to your own state.
They go to my state.
They put on fake smiles on Mothman Day to celebrate the Mothman. Fake smiles and try to sell you merch. I ought to go and visit West Virginia one day that Todd's there and give him a 1-2 for America. I served my country, and I left all that behind to serve my country, and I knew it was fun. I left you guys, and I was gone for a bit, doing my tour in Iraq.
Right.
I come back thinking, wow, I wonder what Brownby's doing, and no one to check up on you guys like the second day after I've been back, with the first being spent on a welcome home thing.
And
And
as
we got to talking, and I realized Bethesda hadn't changed anything. Their game did not get any better, and if anything, it got worse. I was so sad, because seriously, guys, and that's another reason why I think they need to step down. They're doing this in our country, only our country. All the other editions of Fallout that are out, like for 76, like the Fallout here is what, Austin, Texas, and but in Maryland. Then LOL, the same-ish state, just about the same damn state the company's named after, Bethesda, Maryland. They're not doing anything for us, but let's say Fallout China, which is the translations edition, like kind of like Nintendo of America, Nintendo of Japan, they're doing their job. People everywhere else are doing their job. And yet Bethesda here is like, you are having problems with the game. And they're genuine problems, yeah, sure. But I'm going to not fix them. How about that? How about I don't do anything to fix them, and you stop messaging me, and in return for your cooperation, we don't permaban you for harassment. That's what they're like. They don't care. In fact, I even believe, from the time frame I've been playing, that if anything, they like it that the game is broken, so that they can watch everyone else suffer, and not only that, but make it worse. By flat out saying, "Lol, you're having an issue." Well, that sucks. Have fun. And the next update goes around, and the enemy I remember submitting a ticket once about the charge fail rules I left for my service. I come back, and like again, charge fail rules, they dramatically increased. They didn't do a lot of radiation damage, but now it seems like now they do that, and now add the and then add the radiation damage to now almost equally amount high of lethal dose of attack. What the hell? I was asking politely to just chill that a little bit, because I'm not a guy who wants to run around in power armor and body armor to play the game. So I avoid places that typically have charge fail rules. Update comes out, Morgantown receives charge fail rules, storyline at Voltech University. A section of the game that was not really useful besides overseer logs. It was great for low levels. That's a low level area, Bethesda. And you're sitting here putting charge fail rules for like level 50s and up to go into Vault 10. I feel bad for the poor low level that's going to go in there for the overseer log to see where she went, just for the journal thing.
Just for the simple quest that they have to do as well.
Rules at like 50 and up. There's no reason a ghoul like that needs, with that high of an attack and radiation attack, there's no reason at all to make that a level 90. And I saw 2 of those during my time in the Wastelander event, just to do the oversteer thing. It made me mad, man. Like, what the fuck? And then they added robots for doing one directly for the overseer to become a pretend overseer for a scenario. Then there's like robots don't matter. They just kill you. I mean, it's almost like they want the game to be broken. They want it to suffer, and they don't care.
Right. And as we are doing a little bit of a project, I just bought a mod for my Gauss shotgun, and that's the only one I'm gonna be buying, because I'm gonna be saving bullion for this thing. But it's making me very, very discouraged to see. Thank you. But to see this shit just go on, it really does make no sense to me.
Oblivious or stupid when it comes to fixing the issue. It's not hard to go look into it directly and say, maybe they're right, maybe there is a problem. Let me help you fix it. You know, they don't ever assume that you're actually having a problem. They flat out say, make sure that is the problem 100% before contacting us again. Here is a half-assed thing that's there to send a link to see if that fixes your issue. If that doesn't fix it, you can contact it. Usually, one or two ways to complete that event, and that is, if I recall correctly, go get an item or go fight something for the playtime part. I did go get girlfriend was Maryland from the river. Lo and behold, I quit doing that event because she wouldn't take it. I left for a few months. And we was like, okay, I'll come back and try it. Here recently. She wouldn't even take the fucking thing. And what's worse is I couldn't tell for sure if there was more on the list. You can't scroll one when the objectives classifications to be complete. So all I could see was Mirelurk and Golfer. I couldn't see if there was more or less. They don't care. They were like telling you, make sure that's the problem 100% before you come in contact with us. Here's a link to submit a ticket.
Restart your Xbox. Like the Xbox is the problem.
Nah, it ain't the problem. Because I did all that shit, but
But that's what they acted like.
Because they don't want to fix it. And all Survivalists is out here doing her thing, and Fightful's doing their thing. I'm going to be very sad for all the YouTubers that make a living off of YouTube in the next few months, especially with some of these new seasons that are coming. I can flat out see them banning Fightful. Because if you absolutely ask people to do certain things, they ask them, is it okay if I break the boundaries? Just when I get something open, I want to see if it's cool to show my viewers. Yeah, sure, whatever. If you could really acknowledge it, but it never acknowledges the fact that, oh, shit, they're letting me do it, and then they could turn around at any given point, regardless of my community interaction, and say, you participated in a rule-breaking scenario where you clipped the boundaries via 10-year winner. And they're not going to mention that they gave him proof. They're not going to show proof that they did, and they're going to ban him. And already you're screwing me on the show because you didn't know that some of these YouTubers are doing their videos, and you said is going to get a whole ban. And like, maybe if they said if the game lasts 2 years, they're going to be banning YouTubers that made videos from the release of Fallout first, but like even some of them that's their very starting point to that year, because the videos they made were causing problems in the past. Some of them got permission, some of them did it for news. And you know, she does news. Talks about bandwidth, she talks about data mining stuff. Hey, if you know about anything data mining, you're in danger. Bethesda will gladly screw you over, even if they told you about it. It's time for them to go away. I would like to see them change. Would be a phrase I'm not saying anymore. It went from, yeah, the game could do some work. Okay, this is pretty bad. Serve my country, come back. This needs to stop, and now I'm not even going to give them a slack. You're not trying, Bethesda. You're not. You're not. I have more tech know-how to fix things like this than you do. I learned it all over there in my service for small tech things like, satellite transitions and all this other stuff I didn't know about previously until I did my service and had to learn. And here you guys are sitting here, us like twiddles hair with pencil or picks nose or counts their thing or their money. They're like, oh wait, you're actually here? Oh, you have a problem? Cool story, bro.
Hell, I don't know much shit about tech. I want to learn, but
you can learn.
But at least I have the know-how to find ways to go about fixing these fucking problems.
Right.
It's not hard to understand.
Flat out. Dark Knight Impossible fix to the Nuka Shine. The way he said it, they banned him for that. I got a thing talking about it recently. A list of players that were banned a friend of mine that was leaving. He sent a list of people that quit playing with us all of a sudden after meeting them. They all got banned by Bethesda. We're doing things that fix the game. Start to fix the Nuka Shine soft lock, or whatever you call it. You can't stop spawning. I don't think you leave the game without turning your Xbox off. We find a way to fix it without hacking and modding. They perma-banned him. That's why he's not playing anymore. They perma-banned him. Now, of course, he didn't come back and mention that to me, that every single one of them has come into contact with us. That's pretty bad. It looks like we're going to be spending 1,000 billion a day to buy these armor pieces. How much bullion can Smiley give?
He gives 250 per week.
Okay.
That's why I'm thinking about grinding the shit out of events to get all this bullion.
The armor type is like, for the helmet, for this type of helmet T65, 1,650 bullion.
And that's another thing.
The rest of it seems to be 1,000. I don't see the chest piece yet.
That's another thing I want to mention.
It's not worth it.
I understand that this shit that you get for the end game is OP, but the amount of work to simply unlock some of the stuff is too much. And then you have to work your ass off to get what? If you do the dailies for...
And again, once you finish your rep system and you're not into glitching, duping, or whatever, you're going to be there for years to come. And you're probably... You may have to spend like a whole literal month of non-stop 24 hours a day grinding. You may have to even spend a couple of those days running nights as well. Some of those days just to get close to some of this armor. 1,600? Seriously? It's... I mean, the other armor, like the legs and shit, are like 1,000. It's like... That's why I told you, bro, I purchased a Nintendo 3DS here outside giving it, or 2DS. I finally said, fuck you with what? When it comes in, I'm going to spend more time playing it over,
Right. I understand that. The amount of shit that we've gone through over this week just trying to help you get the guns, minigun in general, over the past of 3 months.
But we flip our lids completely and trail off of that topic. It's time for them to go.
Yes.
I would like to see an uprising of some sort. If you want to call it such, hashtag Bethesda. Fuck Bethesda. Block it down. Block the fight. Just some of their own terms if you want. You actually have to. Use some of their own joking terms like block the fight. Bethesda. Time for them to stop. They're not doing their job on purpose, and then they're getting paid their shifts doing bare minimum stuff. Like, oh look, I barely tried to keep my stuff alive. What did you do? I did good today. And it's like, I gave this game a chance. I liked this game. It was okay for a little bit of time, but when it all came down to it, then nothing got done. And even then, to get something done, it took someone literally doing one of two things: physically destroying something that made the company that had their integrity, or leaving / hurting the community. Get a point. There was never once a time that Bethesda has ever said, these players are having an issue, and instead of saying, hey, make sure it's actually the problem before we punish you, they don't care. They're like, nah, you need to make sure it's your fault. It's your fault. That's what they're trying to get you to say, bro. They start at saying it's your Xbox's fault, and then they'll say, what are you doing in the quest? And even if it's the right thing to do, they're going to tell you you're doing it wrong, and then they'll stop contacting you. Because the next step would be, hey, y'all aren't doing anything. Then the second thing they'll tell you is you're wrong. Even if it's the thing you have to do to complete the quest, and it's just not working. After that, they will cut contact with you on that topic. They will consider it resolved. That's what you do when you report someone, you get an email to your Microsoft account, I believe, directly, the point you sent it from. Thank you for contacting Bethesda's helpline and your report player feature. You have noticed some issues in some of your regarding the reports. You're under investigation. If your problems do not get resolved within an X amount of days, we will consider it solved. Thank you for contacting us. By the time you get talking to them, that email will flat out not exist to them until that time frame is up. And what will they do? Well, you didn't make it to our time schedule. Let's not fix it. It's in there and it gets delayed while it's in the company's business area of business. An email does not take long to send. Even if you cut it close to like a day before the actual thing goes, they won't read it until the more days you wait, the longer you have to wait. The longer days, they don't get it. If you can cut it close to a day before the deadline, they're not going to read it until 4 days or so after that deadline. And go, oh, not my problem. I mean, it's funny how it works. You get a little bit of military training here and there, and you learn to pay attention, and you really start seeing there are mistakes that are damning. At least screw them over. At best, damning. At worst, he's going to lose his job. And who knows? I'm not saying this is on my agenda. I'm not mentioning my agenda in any way at all. It's how this is going to go. I would like to see this go. I would like to see an uprising. But at worst case scenario, someone's going to hurt the company physically. The dude that hacked the servers and the website. But that's some things that Bethesda is asking for at this point. Vigilantes that will go through and be like, Todd made a couple $1,000 saying, look, here's his bank account. Buy now. And then they're going to get arrested because they stole. But at the same exact time, what do you expect? Good old Robin Hood moment. The company would steal from you in a heartbeat. They sure as hell do it on occasions. I've seen records when I was with them as a third-party company, if you will, or a third-party thing, or representatives for something of that nature. I've seen records of them flat out screwing people over with money. Players. Even flat out, even legal shit was threatened. And what did they do? They sued the people who were having the issue. Shut the fuck up. We're busy. Was actually something that was written out, a letter to the individual. Would you kindly shut the fuck up? We are busy running a business here, and right now we are too busy doing Boschnacht to acknowledge your problem that is as small as it is, completely useless to the agenda of the company of Bethesda and ZeniMax. Do not contact us again, or we will take action. Word for word, buddy. Boschnacht. That's the reason why that one individual could not get a report and a resolve in. That's a big excuse. And like I said, I would love to see them change. It's not a phrase I'm using anymore. They have to change. And hey, if some people had to do some bad things, twist some hands, physically or metaphorically, to make the company do and get change, go for it. I don't care. I'm going to take a passive-aggressive approach. I'll give them one more run for a passive, and then I may just lead a full-scale revolt. Bethesda can't function without funding. And if I have to go through and teach new people how bad the company is to have them ditch all of Bethesda games, so be it. I will gladly do this. I will gladly start costing them money through gameplay or through telling players the misdeeds of the company. And I won't bat an eye for it, because they sure as hell don't bat an eye and say how wrong they were or what they were mistaken to do. You don't, it's bad that Ward's giving me more rep than the Raiders did. And I had to play the Raiders out to do the vault raid, because I was going to just get them both close to completion and then do the vault raid to see if they had new dialogue that would happen after you've already been friendly with them. Would it have made what happened to characters when they left you when during the gameplay? Would it have made, if for example I finished the Raiders rep completely out, got my gal's minigun, and went off to do my thing, would what's his name have not been greedy and tried to kill us during the event to, would he have acted different? We'll never know, because I hit the wrong thing and ended up doing that first. But someone's got to feel the same sort of way we do.
Somebody's got to be here in our shoes.
Bad when a military individual is like, seriously, this is sad. That's pretty bad on a company level. When someone who served their country to make it free comes back home and happens to just get on the game to see if anything different happened, like a new update or something. Because I was cut off from a lot of this nonsense for a long time, And then it was like, oh look, more bullshit, but this is still under fire. And then I had a wake-up moment. And at first I was like, it could be their fault. There's nothing wrong with them to the community. Then I woke up and realized it's all their fault. And it's been their fault since they started existing in the first place. It's sad that it hurt my feelings that I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and they disappointed me, and even then screwed me in many ways for believing they were good people. I for so long was dumb and believed God wasn't trying to line his pockets. It wasn't doing the things like I heard after coming back. Man, my daughters came back. At the time it was just Kate and Sabrina. Mars wasn't even there yet. Now we got James. We got 4 daughters. But when I came home, it was just the 3 of them. And then Amber had marred Jinx yet. And it's like, I come home and it's like, Dad, wait till we tell you all about what happened on Fallout. I'm like, oh, did they change it? Kate's like, hell no. They ain't done jack shit. Change it. They've been making it worse. My daughter showed me and explained some things to me. And I was like, I woke up in there. And then I realized God wants the game to go under. He's going to barely keep it alive just long enough to make some bank. Enough bank to make him a equivalent to the guy who owns Tesla. Maybe even less. And then he's going to go, bye. Y'all suck ass. Don't call me again. I don't want to. He's going to shut the company down, basically. And he's going to bail. He's going to go somewhere, and he's going to live, and he's going to exist, and he's going to be like, not my problem. When he all comes back and shit hits the fan, he's going to leave everybody. Gamers, company officials. He wants the money. He played 2 Fallout games within his time. He was bad at them. Very, very bad. It's like, please make note. He didn't even know what a Fallout game was until he played Tactics. I blame him for the fact that I'm canon. Just because. There was another movie that was actually being made before the one he announced. look, one does not simply sue a company for stealing your ideas and then say, hey, I know just sued you, but do you want to make a movie together? You don't just sit there and do
No one does not simply do that.
But that's what everyone's kind of led to believe currently. We have no other reason right now to know. Because, well, okay. It's kind of what happens right now. It's depressing. It's happening. And there is a movie getting made, but you have to pay for it. Or you have to pay for something to watch it. And right now, it's the company that supposedly screwed Todd over, but maybe they were doing it to prove a point anyways. You own a right to a franchise, but you can't just sit here and say that, hey, you pieces of the shit have a cuboidal block system that you can put your people in a click and drag format. Now we're going to sue you. That ain't how that works, Bethesda. If they knew how many games were doing that before them, they would be laughed at for doing this. And they were. I know people had to have been laughing at Bethesda when they sued that company, even though they pushed that company out. They cost that specific company a lot of money, and now they're asking them to make a movie about Fallout 76, or about a game in the Fallout universe. I would venture to say it's 76. What the fuck, guys? You know, what the fucking hell?
Seriously.
You know, it's depressing.
This has gone on for way too long.
I got a pistol. Pew, pew, pew. Damn. Nice killing, bro, Mike.
Thank you.
Wow. They just looted the whole body. The Ubu just looted the body. I didn't get anything. That's another thing I want to mention. The fact that you work your ass off at certain events and then don't benefit at all. You may not even get anything. Scorched Earth for so long, and I think still might even punish you when you get your time for reward, and another person can just run up and snatch everything. He's like, bye. Just run up and snatch all the shit. When they're sitting here like flat out one-tapping everything. And it's like, okay, I guess. If I can count the times that's happened, you know, it'd be time to cry. Because that happens still to this day. You can go and be in a Bethesda game, and then, okay, that works. You just worked your ass off and wasted a lot of ammo, only to basically not get the reward in because some guy was right there at the entrance or where the thing fell down and got the loot.
Or,
and then after that, if you did get the loot, if you die afterwards, you lose the flux. Your flux you get because you died. But then there's the players that run around and they're like trying to hide their loot. They're putting it in their boxes, and the game respawns all the enemies. It lags so bad that you're almost guaranteed to fail.
Also,
you're just guaranteed it. You would have been better off not getting the flux than buying it from some guy later on.
Or hell, making the shit.
You got the fucking loss. Right. Or making it's different because you might not even get to do that. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes making it, you don't get anything. The times that I've gone through a nuke zone, flawlessly, effortlessly doing things in it, I never dared hunt for the fluxes because I knew that radiation fluid and the mass and the other thing are about as rare as, you know, legacy weapons currently. At this point, you're almost not gonna. Oh, there goes Propag.
Yep. I want to talk about Fosnocht as well. You put so much effort into keeping that fucking group of robots alive and even doing the shit prior. And then there's people who are able to block it off for timer.
I'm sitting here trying to heal and Torch just show up. I gotta find a way to protect myself because they're gonna kill me. in a few seconds, I just get out of the fucking game bed, not being attacked by enemy. They respawn. It's like, okay. It's like, I would like to not get hit by a melee scorch while I'm sleeping and die for it. God damn. They don't take long before they start killing you. Oh, don't forget the Adrenaline Perk card. Update 20 is coming out soon, and it's going to be pretty bad. It's going to yada supposedly fix stuff. That scorch me.
I'll be legitimately.
How are people still one-tapping her? What? Okay, I'm not even going to complain about that one. Just blame it on Bethesda. That's, again, a cry for help. Your game is broken. You don't want to fix it. Here we are just existing in the area, and another legendary, or another, not legendary, this Scorch Beast shows up. It's like, okay. Done. And I'm getting away from here. I don't like that. There's a horde of them spawned in. Fuck that. My junk away, and I'm gonna get away from here. There's no reason for some of these creatures to be the highest level they can be. 60s, 70s, 80s. I've seen level 90 scorched in places where there should be like 20s. Or how about the Gutsy event that just happens to exist simultaneously? Flatwoods, it spawns in Gutsies at level like 60, 70, and 90. Colonel, some regulars, and the higher one is like a general.
Here's my personal belief.
And they patrol up the road and they come back. If you're on level 5, you're fucked. I still get fucked by them from every time to time. Just for going to Flatwoods. Just cuz. There's no reason for it to be in a level 5 area. That was the Charter Wolves Morgantown thing, really in that nature, before Wastelanders was even announced. It was like way back when. I mean, why?
Seriously. I will be legitimately surprised if Update 20 fixes anything.
It's not gonna. If it fixes something, it breaks something else. Like I said, Mom, you hope they will, but they're not gonna fix it. Now, next update, I'm probably gonna end up jinxing it or help just without calling it. Update 21. It's likely because we made a report on it and they didn't say anything about it. It's probably gonna reset the broken turret glitch because they never ever commented on that thing at all.
Not a damn once.
So I'm willing to bet it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm saying it right now. Your turrets, my turrets, everyone's turrets are gonna be screwed over because Bethesda does not care at all. They're like, okay, there's a bug. Oh, this one's about how cool how good of a work we're doing. Wow, thanks, player. We're gonna give you 200 items. Oh, look, these are a YouTuber and a friend. They're having some issues, but made a video on liking our work. Wow, we're gonna cause them more problems because they're YouTubers that aren't as good as Rifle. Rifle's sitting here complimenting them for doing what they do. They got him as an ass kisser now. I hate to say it, but it seems like he's more of an ass kisser now. They're giving him just flat out giving him free shit. Because why not? We give him free stuff that's worth lots of money. He'll do whatever we say. He'll do whatever we want him to say. He'll say whatever he wants that we send him as a script, and we'll ask him to make it look real and legit. How could you be a YouTuber, struggle with moving like he did, and had to live in a trailer like he did because moving was hard, he needed money? He had to rely on his viewers to help him get back up. He's a YouTuber. He should be making money, correct?
Yes.
Even though they don't make a lot of money. I blame Bethesda on that one. Because he still sits there and plays their games now that he's back on his feet. like he's back on his feet completely. He got help from his viewers, by the way. They helped him by donating money to help him out. He lives in a house now. Now, you look me in the eye and say that they're now interacting with him after all that's over and he's back on his feet, is not because they did just straight up not give a damn about him. I know Bethesda watches videos labeled with Fallout in the title. They watch Kev do it, they watch Enog, they watch Rifle. They don't fix nothing. They think they might fix it if Rifle says it's a problem. But to them, and I'm going to flat out say it, I hope Enog doesn't think too poorly of me for saying this, but she was very influential. But to her, or to them, on her, Bethesda sees her as just another foreign girl that making content, just like the others. Yeah, she's not making a difference. If anything they've really taken action for was the people that were caught data mining and promptly banned in the so-called ban lane. Data mining is a bannable offense to Bethesda. They don't secure their shit. Again, why? It's like getting a bank account, filling it with millions of gold bars worth of money, and then leaving the vault door open and saying, I have a new bank account right here, and then walking off. And say, I'm so happy I got all my money. And then get next day, wow, who knew this? That alerting these to my existence would get stuff stolen from me. Oh, just basically making her news, and unknowingly getting a lot of people banned. Because she talks about data miners and gives the source of who did it, because that's what you're supposed to do legally. Give credit where credit's due, but they're fucking those people up, and if they haven't already, they're gonna with this new update and that new ban wave that you talked about. It's pretty sad. They're using YouTube's algorithms and YouTube's content creation stuff against content creators. If I was in Bethesda, and for example, let's just say that Todd finally kicked the bucket, metaphorically, kicked the bucket of Bethesda out of the thing, and he's like, I'm going somewhere else. This is not making me enough money. And he kicks that can away and he walks off. Okay? And let's say I get old though, because of grabs, and it makes me just not care. A lot of shit's going to change right off the bat. Nuclear winter won't be getting one-off things to get. I won't kick it out completely because I don't. Yeah, I'm not a fine buddy thing with nuclear winter. Kids, I hate it, but I wouldn't be putting super rare items such as Hellfire armor and XO2 in there just for the sake of, oh look, you have what I'm gonna call in a joking way. You have less of a social life than most of the people that play our games. Here's a free set of armor that's canon to the Fallen universe, but you had to waste your whole life grinding for it. Good job. Have fun. There's people like me that I can't even get past level 5, but I've been playing a lot longer than level 5. And it just flat out will not let me rank up. I got 0. All I really get is XP and caps for the main thing. And I got a gun paint recently. We're trying to do, again, a grind to get something. And I didn't get anything, because you have to rank up to overseer ranks a certain amount to get a certain thing. And I'm not getting it. I was kind of mad about it when it came out, but then things started happening to the tune of, no matter how hard you work, you're not getting anything in result. That's Bethesda right now. No matter how hard you work, we will not give you your due reward. You owe us because you're playing our game. Well, that's what they're saying. And again, I want to see that rise now. I want people to get on the Twitter and Reddit and talk about it and start speaking out about it. People kind of did it in the past, but now it's all casual. Like, oh wow, look at Bethesda, and then call it the problem. LOL, they can't do anything. And then a couple people people comment, yeah, you're right, but they're not serious. Be serious, people. It's time to say that's a problem. And then tell Bethesda to fix it. You have to be aggressive. You have to get permabanned. Like I said, people are going to get banned if they follow us. But that just proves that they don't want us to uprun. They want to keep their position in any way they can. At that point, that's the only reason why they're going to ban us. They may say otherwise, but idiots. Hey, look, Gutsy. Hi, Gutsy. Oh, wait, Gutsy. Two Gutsy. Big Gutsy. Who's a good Gutsy? Not you. But, again, my point is, when they find, you said this before the stream started, they're going to get mad at us and shut us down. Listen, that's okay. That just means that they know we're going to take away what little bit of ability to steal and cheat people. Sorry for the yawn. They're going to take, we're taking whatever little bit they can do to people away from them. They'll fear us. They're fearing us if they ban us. Because they know, wow, if these two idiots here that know what they're doing gather enough people against us, we're gone. ZeniMax will have to shut us down to avoid going bankrupt. We have a legal right to do things like this. And I'm not saying go over and get pissed off at Todd next time he goes up to an event and kill everybody that works at Bethesda. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying shoot up a building that they have rented out for E3. Don't do that. Don't go punching Todd in the face and calling him Ebenezer Scrooge because he stole something or wasn't sharing the money properly. But make a point every time you get on Twitter to not talk about the good they do. Sorry, that's something else. Seriously. Dumb. Complimenting the game and then turning around. Some people, I know I've done it before, I've said the other day, have problems, but here's what's good. Everything here is just a visual fuck up and to polish over a turd. And they're trying to make their turd look nice for every E3 that shows up. And then they delay, fail to communicate, lie, cheat, steal, and then they're like, hey, it's not my fault that people are doing yada yada yada. Yes, it is, Bethesda. It is.
Very much is so.
And I hope that any tweets that you make from mine will get noticed. And if it gets noticed by the company, I hope they get scared. This is your downfall, Bethesda. People that join us, we are Vault-Tec. We are the ones who have been oppressed by your tyrannical reign and lack of intelligent existence to do the right thing as a company. And your cooperation would be much desired, but don't get super unhappy if it escalates to banning everyone in the game if it gets down to it, because at this point, if you're watching, you're a company member, you're only going to ban us and punish us because you're scared we're going to win. You're afraid of an uprising, yet you're taking down your defenses by doing the stuff you do. Make your defenses weak by punishing us in the future days because we're talking against you. And that's how it is, flat out. You're scared we're going to do something, and we're going to do something.
Here's the thing.
Don't be surprised.
Our requests were simple, and now our demands are simple. Fix your shit. Fix your shit, or step down. Do one of the two.
Step down is probably a better one at this point, Ron, but they're not going to fix it. They've been a screwball company since Skyrim and everything else. Like, kind of took everything away from like Black Isle and Obsidian and people who started really made the first bit of the franchise what it is. Bethesda is a Fallout killer, and it's time for us to cleanse the wasteland of the evil seeds they planted over about 2 years to plant their garden of evil seeds. We need to stop these seeds from hatching and growing into a fruition of reality. Our time is now, members of the wasteland that have been that feel like the game's just not what it needs to be or have been punished, uprise with Voltec, or at this point we can even call ourselves Atlas Cryptos. Uprise now for the greater good of a better game. Bethesda needs to hear us and do what we ask at this point. No more will we ask, do you fix the problem, please, when they're not gonna. Now it's going to be fix your problem. And give them a reason to understand what's going to happen to those who don't. They're no longer going to rule over us and say, yeah, we don't want to fix your problem because we don't feel like it. It's time for them to fix it. And if we have to get a couple million people to hop on, even if blindly for publicity, if we have to boycott their games and do some pretty bad stuff, which, like I said, I'm not hoping that'll happen, but if it happens, so be it. It's only their fault. If it gets down to the point where people start disappearing or whatever, you fit in a scenario where a riot shouldn't go. That's completely out of my reach. I don't want that to have to happen. But don't be surprised if it does happen, because Bethesda does not do it. They don't care. They don't want to care. Suggestions, anything. If it doesn't make them money, they don't look at it. They don't care.
And there was two things.
Right. Apparently fixing it doesn't make them enough money to fix their game. I don't care if they permaban me. I got other games I can play. And I can still lead an uprising while playing a friendlier game like Fossil Fighters on the DS, or playing Tetris on the Game Boy. I don't have to cut my ties with anybody because Bethesda got scared of an uprising that they baked in their own oven of dismay and then accidentally left it open. It's not my fault if they refuse to do. They're flat out ignoring us, banning other players, and some of them get away with doing things they shouldn't be doing, and then twice double down the hammer when the person does it again because they didn't get in trouble or felt like the company was wrong for doing something else. It sucks. I don't know how long we're going to talk about this with our little stream. We've been going on for an hour and 30 minutes. And
also, I'd like to mention, you remember when we got a little, we got a little concerned, and I sent a message like a month ago, or maybe like a few weeks, to Soul to see how he was doing. He only now replies.
Really?
Yep.
Put my earbuds in real quick. I have to put these in against my better judgment. I have to put these in. What did he say?
He said good. I said
good to what though?
I said, hey, how you been? He said good.
He hasn't batted an eyelash at the fact that he abandoned us. Now, here's the thing I want to mention. He abandoned us because we played Fallout. Flat out, that was the reason at this point. However, I think he had some hindsight. I think he saw something we didn't feel like seeing. We were stupid. If we need to thank him for leaving us to play other games, for being awake when it was time to realize the reality. It was a good thing he did. Yeah, I know it's kind of bad to bail on your friends because they're not playing Ark, or play start it the next few weeks after and bail on us because he doesn't want to play Fallout no more. And Grand Theft Auto is the new hit shit to play with, aside of whatever sex joke you can add here. They did themselves a favor. I believe it now. By doing what they did, and yes, it was towards us, they saved themselves problems. We'll just say problems. They saved themselves disgust of, wow, you call this a video game moment, or oh, wow, these people are toxic, or oh my gosh, they don't care about their own company. Bethesda is in for a rude awakening, though. I hope we get enough people to notice.
I do too.
And to understand, the ones who aren't a part of our little uprising, if you will, outside currently. So if you hear the AC unit outside, it's just not, I think it's starting to struggle, but it's about high time for them to quit. They're not Minecraft, where they sold 7.8 billion copies or whatever, but I'm afraid they do. If people keep blindly buying this stuff, and I'm going to say it's blind because kids are just children, they're marketing to kids at this point. It's info mature, but we might ban you for doing it. But hey, if we don't, you can say we're a good game, right? Yeah. And the kid will be like, sure, I guess. I got my birthday. I don't really know much about it yet. They're marketing to kids flat out. Kids, like 6 and under, maybe a little bit older, 6 to like mature age. They play a game that's pretty cool, right? Your friends have probably been talking bad about it, but it's pretty cool. You can jump on it and, well, you know, isn't that against COPPA in a way?
It is.
I was on my daughter Jinx is like, she was really, really young when I came back home, but she was maybe about 4 or 5, but she likes watching what was it, Think Noodles? I remember her from back in the days of Pop Tropica, but she watches YouTubers like Think Noodles, or they do the cute animal faces, and they act like they're really scared, or they're for the show of the children's entertainment. And ads are, and then there's one she watches that has an alt account. He has one that he was on the gray line when COPPA showed up. And he's like, well, here's what I will do. I'll keep the account I currently run as an alternate account for more mature rated content, things that 6-year-olds couldn't grab and say, whoa, that's pretty neat. Oh wow, Fortnite, and I'll make a separate account that is, and turn the ads off. So I knew, and this wasn't thinking it was a different guy, and I was like, okay, well, I noticed he had a separate account that I heard was the same dude, and there was someone saying, I can't believe he runs a child thing, and he acts so. They were talking about how he had a personality change that he had to keep to stay COPPA compliant. It's not easy being a YouTuber and running 4 different accounts like some of them do, and then let alone have one that has to be COPPA compliant, and it completely goes against your personality almost entirely. That to me would be hard. That's like putting on 5 different masks and every day showing up and get the names wrong after 2 years of playing. I can barely remember my daughter's name sometimes. It's just because stuff I'm doing. I'll be talking to Kate, and I'll be busy when I talk to her. I'm like, hey, Sabrina. My name's not Sabrina. Oh, you're right. You're Kate. It happens, but as a YouTuber, though, that's hard. And I was looking into it, and I was like, hey, I know this dude. That's not. But one of my daughters watches his COPPA compliant account for the children. His videos were, neat. But here's the problem here. He was not really COPPA compliant in the second video, obviously. He's not making it kid friendly, as it says you are or you're not, basically. And when I say COPPA compliant, I mean this one's not oh, my ads are turned off and I have comments still running. And there was a moment where a word from our sponsors, Bethesda was kind enough to take one of my sponsor spots up and place their new game for their new update. And he did a cute little skit about, wow, I've been looking for a game that's a good MMORPG to play in, and I don't know what to pick. And I was like, oh, great. Here's my problem, though. When he got down to the point, it was the video was kind of the whole thing was kind of more sponsor related and a bit of gameplay. And at the end of the video, he's he looked at all the shit that was happening, the bad stuff. Even then, 10 out of 10. I would definitely recommend this to a 6-year-old and under. Rated M for mature. 6-year-old. I had my daughter Mars stop watching him because I can imagine that dude coming over one day and just even one slip up. And that gets leaked out on one of his other accounts. And then we have like 5, 6-year-olds. I mean, his thing probably ranges from 6, maybe his 8, maybe 8, maybe is his max. And his lowest he could probably do is 4. I don't really know how that stuff kind of works out, kind of sort of do, but I'm not a YouTuber anymore. The stuff I used to do, and even then I was lower than you, where I could be maybe get 4 views, that was it for something. No subscribers. But I felt like that's a little odd to me. He thought I had very many visual bugs on the screen. I was like, wow, this is neat. It's a totally wasteland ready. He had little puns and phrases that you could tell were scripted. And I'm like, just, you know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And just, I could see one day he's going to say something, and then a lot of parents are going to be mad at him. Why did you tell my children on the video you watch when they're not even old enough to really know what you're truly saying? But now they are. And you're telling them to get a mature rated game? On a parent's perspective, they'll treat the kid players, single digits, maybe 10, 11, no, maybe 10 to max, and under. They'll treat those same group the same as they'll treat 40-year-old men that I've engaged in things like, what was it, before the service I went through one day, and I was just doing LFG, and the dude was like looking for group for something. I don't remember what it was at this point, but he ended up getting toxic at me for something. Oh yeah, because I was talking about my wife, because she was mute. And she was playing on the game, and I was just on the headset because, you know, he's like, man, why are you lying to me? Pete, let's be real here. Man to man, girls don't play video games. What kind of bitch would play video games? And we both know that you can't get your mute wife to play a game because she doesn't exist. Mute girls don't exist. And I was like, shut the fuck up, man. And you know what I did? I did some pretty dark shit to him, though, because at the time I was on a different side of the tracks as far as government stuff goes. And that's in an area chat, or not area chat, an Xbox chat full of 60 different people that were about his age and probably didn't like him. I called out his real name and his address, and I said, I joked with him, but made it sound serious. I can see you right now. That's not your home. It's your grandmother's basement. Oh, did your mommy kick you out at like 20 because you couldn't shave and take showers and you spent your whole time bullying kids on Fortnite? Oh no, it looks like she's dead. Wow. And you moved to your grandmother's basement? Does she make you cookies and pizza bites too? And at that time, I was already in boot camp, and I said, listen here, man to man, I'm getting ready to serve my country, and I'm more of a man than you are. Sitting here in your mom's basement asking for pizza bites and Pop-Tarts and saying my wife don't exist. You don't even have a wife. No girl would ever want to be around you. The people in the chat were horrified. How did he know? I told him, how did I know? Because I can put 2 and 2 together, and I have enough brain sense to shut someone like that up. And I left the chat. The people have actually come back and commented on that in very friendly ways to see how I was doing. It made me angry because a lot of people do that. And at the time, that was one of the first 2 times it happened. Yeah, but seriously, people, they've never met my wife. I mean, you haven't, but you believe in her. Thank God. A lot of people that are in these games are like, oh, girls don't play video games. And when they are, they're trans or something. They don't believe. And they'll say that girls need to be in the kitchen or the bed or whatever. And they'll flat out say she doesn't exist. Hey, without her, some certain medical advancements would not currently exist. So she's got combat training. and operational training where, goes in and she fixes your face if you get hit by something heavy. She'd reconstruct your skull for you. And then it's doing things like bar fights, and she's picked glass out of people's eye socket. Her eye was obviously gone, but she picked glass out of their eye socket where the dude got into a fight with somebody at a bar or something that was said, and they busted off a small bottle and jabbed it in his eye socket and left several shards in his eye socket and busted his eye completely. He has no eye there. She took the stuff out of his. She treated him like a human being and respected him, even though when he got out of the operation room, he called her bitch, whore, and a whole bunch of other things. Some of it racially offensive, some of it just gender-specific suggestive terms. She never thought, well, I'm going to tie him to the bed, I'm going to beat him a little bit and sit down so I can, how some people will break while they're at their job, and they'll do some pretty awful things. Because Amber, she'll respect people when they need respect. And she has pity on some people. But when I remember the day he said that, she was in the game and she could hear him say that. And she wasn't, I had just begged her to play the game and meet some people, and I was way before you, and I hadn't no mage then. I was like, come on, Amber, you'll love it. And she was like, nope, I don't even want to. The day the dude said it, her eyes filled up with tears to realize that that's how gamers think of female gamers.
It sickens me that that's the way people think of females ever.
And this is what happened after. This is how it relates to Bethesda. It's on their game. I reported them, and we promptly got a con ban for getting mad at the dude. Dude got pissed off and reported me for stalking and harassing him. He never kicked me out of the chat, not at once. He had his little meltdown and his little tantrum. 40 years old and had himself a tantrum. And I'm getting a con ban for some of the shit that he was doing. Flat out what he was doing it. He reported me he reported the things he was doing, but put me in those kind of people. Well, nothing's my fault, and if it is my fault, I'm going to put your name in place because I don't like you. He popped up the N-word, he made sexual references and innuendos. He said women that don't want to be in the kitchen or fucking him in the bed, him specifically, needed to be stuck on a pole or hung, which is pretty out there.
It's fucking awful.
And then, and Microsoft's like, if you apologize, well, we might lower your punishment. But Bethesda was like, wow, this dude says you're the N-word hater. Ban. Because if you don't ban you, it'll cause problems to our company. That looks like someone who would say such a thing to a black person, let alone immediately be hateful to that individual the first time I meet them. I'll be mean to anyone who actually needs it, but I'm never going to be racist or sexist. I would never run up on a black person and be like, oh, wow, you had a tie with the reason why the Civil War happened, therefore you're inferior. No. I treat them like a human being. And this is a little strange little story there, though, too, of how nice I am to certain people that have been treated differently. We went out to... where are we going? I was with William and his Hellcat in the plane, and we went to Vegas for something important. He had to go get it. I don't know. Why are we going to Vegas for that? I don't know. Okay. That was the only thing he said the rest of the trip. And there was a moment where, oh, look, I can't fit my plane on the roads. And I didn't bring the Hellcat, the car. He bought a Hellcat bomber and made it a commercial flying vehicle without the bombs. Because you can do that. You don't need the bombs to fly the plane. And he couldn't drive, so we got a bus. There was a black driver and a couple white people on the bus, but most of it was white. So And the bus was kind of packed. They had like room for one more person, but there was no seats. When a black lady, maybe in her 30s, late 20s, got on the bus and looked around, and all the white people that were sitting down, the black people were standing up. Me and William both almost kind of a fist fight. Here, you can have my seat. William's like, oh, come on now. I'm made of gold. Soul made of gold. I'm like, you can go fuck yourself, William. We never exchanged words at each other against it, but she was like, aren't y'all two just such gentlemen? She gave the blacks and the whites a little stare like, you should learn from these two. So that's a good thing to show you there, because I'll hold the door for anyone, male, female, black, white. It don't bother me a bit. I'll even go into a state where that kind of hospitality is not okay. Like, what was it? Idaho? I think it's one of the few northern states that they get mad when you be hospitable like that. I don't care if it starts a fist fight. I'm gonna still do it because that's just me. That's how I was raised, and that's how I will stay to do. I don't care if it kills me. Cake is good. What? I taught my wife how to make a cake. I'll tell you what. I've ate that same cake 30 times in my entire life. 30 different times. She has to have done it way better than me. It's so good. It's pretty good if Sabrina just flat out grabbed a handful of that cake when it first came out of the oven. I'm like, don't burn yourself. And she's like, I don't care. Mom's food is good. They were very... I think they were kind of jokingly, but seriously, like, prepared to go, even if it wasn't, did not hurt her feelings. But then Sabrina got a whiff of that cake when it came out of the oven, and she was upstairs in the attic, the third story up. It was like, damn, I smell Dad's cooking. And she came downstairs, Amber's pulling it out. It's like, it's not Dad's cooking this time, it's your mom's. Oh boy, she was like, you gotta make another one right now, that smells so good. I'm like, are you okay, Sabrina? Sabrina got a whiff of that cake, and she was right. That cake is amazing. It's not the one we bought that was, remember the one I showed you, Brahma, that was like discounted, the $2.99 chocolate bundt cake?
Yeah.
We redid that same recipe our way. We have a bundt cake recipe with a couple family secrets that span back to my grandma's mother. I don't know what the box is right now, but I got it from my mom, who my grandmother I was gonna get it from my mom, so my grandma gave it to her. It's spread around the family does not tell. And you think, the family does not tell, yet we can spread it around like fake money, a drug cartel scene. I ended up getting her to give me a copy for me and Amber to use. Same exact cake that you could buy off the shelf in a way, but my wife, and as you know, my wife makes the cheese food, steaks,
she's the normal cook. She's the cooker, not the baker.
Yeah, she's the cooker by choice, not by force or anything. I'm more of a baker.
You're the baker.
But I can do a couple of cooking things too, so I can go in there, I can make you some Spam. I'm glad I got off the game right now.
Also, I wanted to mention this before we continue. I think the game is kissing my ass right now, because ever since I started that event, I've made, 3 tiers on the damn thing, and I'm about to get my next one. I am almost at the flying saucer. What the hell?
It's a jungle gym. Be careful getting in it, though. Non-camp related one, if you go in it and something happens, you get stuck in it.
Yeah, I've done that before.
It might not let you back out. For Bethesda, be expecting it.
Right.
But
I'm probably going to be careful with that one.
It's so good. It's raining. Cool. Do for us. Oh, here comes Clover. Come on here, Clover. There you go. Got herself that new wheelchair that William got her, more tank treads. Or basically it's a treaded wheelchair instead of, a wheel for steering and a wheel for movement. She flat out got herself a tank one. It's basically for me because it's got treads. It's got little gears that run the treads, and all she has to do is sit there. Flat out, she has something attached to her, like a little. She has a pad with a cord on it, and I think she has one on her chest. There's little paper discs or something, or of a disc of some sort. And basically, what it does is she thinks forward a little. You should go forward, and it'll go forward. It runs off her brain. And the one that's on her chest, if something happens to her that would likely be dangerous, lethal, massive pain that, EMTs need to be alerted, like, it straight up calls the EMTs. Williams even attempted to show so, but it knows when you put a test dummy or a crash dummy in the seat, and it's like, no life detected. Wait a minute, that's a crash dummy. I'm like, well, damn. It was like 2 seconds of, hey, look, it's dead. He got ready to dial 911. He was like, wait a minute, gotcha, bitch. It's a crash dummy. It was perfect. But it reads her vital signs. He says it even can do up to certain things, like if we had elderly patients that could use it, and they're old enough that they can't get up to go to the bathroom or such, it might be able to, it can do some pretty. It has all sorts of weird things that came with as well. Like he's not now, but he was supposed to come out here today and fly his little plane or his car. One of the He loves that bomber. He's like, it's fun having the bomber version of the car because the bomber came first. They made a joke, which came first, the chicken or the egg? I was like, the chicken, because the egg can be dropped out of a really high altitude. Because he was making a joke about, he was actually making a joke about kittens, which came first, cat or the kitten. And he talks about the Hellcat plane being better than the car. But it sounds so weird. I'm like, hey, look, I know where William is. I'm looking up at the sky, like, where is it? He pulls up beside me, like, move. Pedestrian, seriously. You're like, oh, hey, Art, what are you looking for? Your plane? Oh, no. He made his car sound like the plane. That's fucking hilarious. Like, oh, look, war sirens. But, getting coming up here soon, and the wheelchair has the ability for her to just, there'd be a new, I don't know how it's going to work, but basically, she can't walk. She's in a wheelchair. And for now, he's just trying some new technology he found, and
Hey,
God, Pinky, what the hell?
I just put a blanket over him and he starts screaming.
He's having a moment. Patches is eating dirt off the floor. He can lick Amber's foot again.
I think you're gonna love to hear this though. Now playing with Xbox Game Pass, Fallout 76 ESRBM console and PC.
Don't get it. Those who are probably watching don't get it.
Don't.
If you have the terabyte card, don't get it. It's not worth it because you basically wasted your money. I mean, you do have to pay for it,
if
but
it's
you wasted your money if you got it for
and
Fallout because it doesn't work. They give you a load of issues in regards to it before letting you have it. To flat out say, hey, you need this terabyte card to hold the higher storage games. We know ours is higher storage, but can you do yourself a favor and pay to have the thing, the whatever it's called, where you're, the pass. You pay for the pass.
Right.
Okay. Well, you can't have our game willingly on that terabyte card. It has to be your Xbox. The thing runs the same amount as the digital, if I recall correctly. And they're like, you can't do that, buddy. I'm sorry. You have to take it off your terabyte card that has more space than your Xbox can currently handle. Oh, wait. Okay. They cause so many problems with so many people, and then they're like, yeah, it's your terabyte that's the problem. What the fuck? William's been trying to get himself a Fallout game recently, and he saw Fallout 76 on the internet. think it was like an eBay, or I don't know if it was eBay or what it was he was doing. But he said the dude was trying to sell it off of an online thing. You give a description, brand new, hasn't even been opened yet. Got it for me and my son to play. Comes with, I got 2 of them. My son opened his and it didn't even work. I didn't even open mine. I will give it to you for free. Take it away from me. He was getting rid of it for free. William contacted that dude and said, why? He says, my kid had more trouble trying to get the game to work. And then when he finally did get it to work, he got pestered by other players to the point where he wanted to kill himself. So we installed it, and I'm going to sell this one. It's pretty bad. Well, I know that my daughter Mars, when she tried to play the game, that same sort of thing kind of happened. A bunch of people show up, and they're third-party factions. Oh, we are the Enclave, we're the Brotherhood of Steel, and they cyberbully you for stuff. Now, I'll admit I was in a group like that. I never participated in shit like that. I went behind their backs to fix the shit they broke. They'd go through and they'd level people's camps, and they'd bully the person to death. And one of them had a motto for that they would share with that person. I had Victorium, like the games, like they're supposed to do with these factions, they do it that way. They had a secondary motto for those who want to get their ass beat. For those who want to get their ass beat by a group, until you kill yourself or stop playing video games, and specifically Fallout altogether, we will not leave you alone. When I left their group after doing what I could to help the people they screw over, they harassed me for the whole year that the game was out. So long. And it was like, how bad of a person you gotta be to run a self-entitled faction group that's not even as bad as, that's worse than how the game portrays that faction as. Enclave and the Brotherhood of Steel groups do it. And the Enclave may be bad, but they're not that bad. We run our little group on Discord.
Right.
It's free to join.
There's even a link in the description.
Right. But I don't think it's getting noticed on the, what do you call it, the Discord? With Discord's little public whatever. I think they're suppressing us for a lot of things, them being YouTube or Discord, because we're not popular.
And here's another thing: you have to pander. People have to pander to what's popular anymore to do anything on YouTube, on any kind of internet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that makes it bad because as
we don't get seen.
As popular as Fallout 76 is, it don't make bank on the internet scale sometimes. Not everyone can make bank off of it. It's only the people who already had a fan base in the first place, a pretty fucking big one at that, to even do the damn stuff.
Yep. Hey, maybe we'll get some views in. Maybe an uprising will cause of followers, maybe even hundreds of thousands of players. We'll say, hey, it is time for Bethesda to nut up or shut up and, bail or fix their shit. And things will start happening. We did a tweet. I think I had you do a tweet of a few things we would like to see that was in Fallout New Vegas, or as I will forever know it as Fallout Van Buren. The game's timeline divergence was after the soldiers came back from World War II. It was end of the era of World War II to the end of the Fallout 4. Divergence.
The divergence of, I'd say 1950?
Of our time. It's our time. Divergence.
Right.
So instead, they didn't get rid of the Nixie tubes. They kept giant fusion core battery units. Fusion energy was the top shit, man. Your car, your robot, that did everything for you. Totally what everyone fears right now, besides COVID, hopefully. Things happen that didn't need to happen, and then we had a war. It's like, oh, hey, look, America's got all the oil. I've been worried about global warming. You gotta think that if all the beds in the game, your character doesn't have like a desire to sleep under the sheets or anything. He just sleeps on top of the bed. You gotta imagine how hot it is. That's kind of why I like the clothing in games. They're like, let me think this out because it's starting to die. My phone is, but it's like I like the ones that have the short sleeves, like Ranger outfit, the Treasure Hunter, because again, imagine it's probably hot. My patches.
Oh yeah, the heat is probably unbearable.
Sure. Okay. Patches. I know if I'm dying. Hey, come on, go outside. Use dust. Now, patches. Come on, go outside. Go outside. Let's go potty. It's like moping around our house looking for this wicked shit. I know he is. Come on. Come on, old fart. Come on. There you go. I'm trying to recognize Diamond because this thing, he's looking right at me, but he can't see. He doesn't want. Go outside. Go outside. Come on, Patches. Don't be difficult. I mean, even though you're noticing shit everywhere, he finds it more beneficial to just go outside. Come on, baby. Please, please, thank you. I got to poke him a couple times. I got to bust out there with him and watch him. Just not watch him pee, but still, you get my point though with the game. You got to imagine it's hot enough.
The heat is probably more than likely unbearable, especially in areas like the Ash Heap or Toxic Valley.
I think the whole game is hot. I think the whole thing is on fire, basically. I'm going to call it literally turn for it, because, again, nuclear war. Actually, no, dirty bombing. Not war, dirty bombing. And then it's like, okay. And I feel like Ash Heap is hottest. Canonically, it would be the hottest one there. I'll admit. Canonically, the Ash Heap would be the hottest place. But you gotta imagine that 100 degrees might be a chill day. You really put it as a temperature scale. I believe that 100 degrees would be a great thing for some of them. What the NCR Rangers say, at temps like this, they can be a nuclear winter. It's global freezing. And it'll happen if we go into World War III. We'll all die of freezing, die of nuclear radiation. But, Look patches. Get my point though. I just kind of want to make a point that it seems like it's hot outside for those characters.
Right.
No patches. Did you go potty? Did you go potty? Not really. Sniffed around, but
He sniff around, but he no poo.
He'd rather be in our house because he'd get beaten to death if he did it over there. They beat him to death. So I let my sister stay here. I let him go with her because yeah, I know he'd do it, but he's thinking he don't like being abused. Got him arrested. And my parents would have loved to continue that. They'd be like, oh, boo-hoo, it's a dog. They would sit here and beat him to near death and say, oh, boo-hoo, it's a dog. We'll get another one. And here he is, deaf, blind, and due to all the tumors he got, he can barely stand up sometimes. And it's like, how cool am I going to be? I don't know. Alright. Anyways. There's not a cord downstairs currently. Oh, I bet I know why you're giving me those eyes. You're hungry. Well, I'm ready to tell you more money. The 2020. Sorry, badges. Sorry. He's like, I don't want to go piss here. I want to eat. Willow, you can't have that. Willow, you can't have that. That's why your food growing. I get it. I'm sorry, Patches. Shut this door and lock it. It's just us and the girls and Amber and Clover right now, and the dogs. So let's just go out to work. matter, Mars. Oh, Mars, what's wrong? He's looking at me like, you're loud. Race to bring up the stairs, you'll always lose, no matter what. She's getting her legs back finally, too. I told you what happened to her.
Yeah.
She's getting her run back finally. She's happy. Oh boy, she's so happy. She's like, look, I can almost run as fast as a biker now, or a cyclist. Like, yay. That's what made her the most angry at all that, was for the recovery process specifically. But then she can't run no more. She's not letting it stop her, though. They told her she probably should not be. They said she could. She probably shouldn't.
Right.
Hopefully people will notice our videos. Take note. Maybe I'll go back and watch all the videos where secrets were shared, things happened, and overall, we were blind to believe the company was true. People now should be able to go back and say, wow, I kind of feel like them, blinded, or wow, I never thought that there were people that were getting screwed by the game, or they have their own side of the story, of that. Or they kind of see us, but they would have never known, basically. There's no reason to not go back and see it, but sometimes I think people still do it. But I would like people to do so, and I would like people to see our uprising as a calling, especially for those who know a guy or a girl or someone that got hurt by the company for any reason. Right or wrong, at this point, you're right. At this current point, whatever they did to you, whether it was your fault or not, you're right for doing it. Because they'll flat out ban anybody for anything at this point. Their code of conduct is hard to get to, as far as I can tell. I have not been able to get to it. I've been trying for a few hours. Since the stream kind of started, it started up in like an hour. I can't seem to find it. I can't find no one to show it to me, so when I think it's for me, it's safe to do there's not one. Good job, Bethesda. What else is there to play? I'm not playing Fallout 76 until things start happening that show me for the better. So they stop punishing players for whatever reason they can pull out their ass until they start listening to the community a bit more and actually caring. I'm going to try not to play the game. Because the more you play the game, in my opinion, the more they see, they know whenever someone logs onto their game, they log it as that's a fan. Whether you like the game or not, to them, that's a fan. And here you are playing it, but you're not going to be in the punishing for doing so. In the competition that I was going to get on and play it, but I realized that's the only game I have. I've got Call of Duty that I'm playing it right now. It's not a reason,
Right.
But that's the point. There's an issue we had here. I think Bethesda could change it, or could change it again. Just a little bit. Show off and show that you care. Maybe I'll come back. I'll play on the Xbox. I'll play other games. But as far as they go, no.
I'm actually just running some shit. Just a little bit. I'm actually going to get ready to hop off of this game. Maybe play something else for a change.
Oh, that made a weird noise. There it goes. They made that thin and bouncy, what it's called. They tried to merge it, I guess. I'm going to go on the actual piano and play a little bit at this point. But I gotta wait till the phone charges. Because I don't think you'll be able to hear me if I get up over it and go over there and chat with you. And you might be able to hear me chat, but I also don't want to completely do away with all the viewers that we might be getting before they leave because, oh gosh, it's loud.
Right.
But, again, this is something I'd rather be doing anyways than playing Fallout. Giving them my time of day to play their game and get screwed over them by them constantly. I'll even have a level 10 Superman in God mode and an explosive pipe weapon.
I'm gonna say right now, after I get done scrapping this shit, I'm gonna say fuck. Oh.
I still think the death took over the body of that Superman. Just long enough to screw me over. You go, ha, you lose.
And right. And for that reason,
if they left time to shut up to attack, because they could have easily just left. I'd rather play. Also, there's a storm brewing outside. So.
Right, you may not be able to play long. So for the time being, I'm gonna say fuck this game, and I'm gonna see how Fortnite's doing.
No crazy. At this point, Fortnite's better than Fallout.
Right.
Alice, we'll get my music. Yes. Just setting this up. I hope it's not too loud for our viewers.
If so, just in case, I'll move the phone a little bit further away, just in case. But I hope you enjoy what he's. I hope you enjoy what he's playing because I certainly do.
We'll have the Vault Tech Radio, I guess, for now.
Right.
Good vibes in that place. I guess. Turn the reverb on for a second. This is what we're playing our own songs. That's not better. One harmonic of one. That's what something I don't use all life. I'm actually working this time. Let's find out. I'm playing an excerpt from the new putter from the second half of her album.
Okay.
All the other stuff happened. This is present day on is what the song represents now. Part of the song that's very fun to play. Her new Gray album is going this way. those songs that play.
Oh, yes.
Now, it's one button. Let's flash them. Great Vault-Tec radio, everything on piano. That's what all does.
Welcome to the Vault-Tec Radio, guys.
That was the Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver remake of the original 3 Gold, Silver, Crystal, Lavender Challenge. Without the GBA tunes, it's very not melancholy, but it's still upbringing as well. I do not know how to play the whole song. I just remember the chorus very well. It's in the US land because you're one of the game's actual music without the what's called the Game Boy sound. Which makes it sound like the original, which is still even heard at the beginning. Yeah, the whole beginning is still heard, but it goes into a better transition because of what happened.
Right.
Loud. enough. That's at 25.
Oh!
First work, bro. Section. I guess they might as well call that access without a rate.
Right?
Brass. It's just labeled brass. I think it's like one of the brass sections. Like section 1. Brass section 2. Brass section 3. So one labeled brass. Like, great. Excellent. You gave me a sound in my orchestra from this game. What was it called? Oh, look, it just says brass. Gee, how, what land did you get? That's called an instrument. That's it. Why? Yes. heading all the way up. Let's go. Do you ever remember playing recorders back in school though? I don't think anyone remembers that shit. Do you remember that, Mom? Like, did you have that when you were a kid? It was like a big fucking object. Played in school, the path, like elementary school. And some kids even went on to be YouTube stars with them. They were good ones, but they're being worthy, right? I used to play so much on my recorder back when I was in band in middle school, and I'd come home instead of practicing on my trumpet, I was like, I'm going to do my parents a favor, put the trumpet away, get out my sheet music, convert it to recorder, and be in that team sitting playing on the recorder, playing. Oh God, what was I playing? There was Sawmill Creek, which was a song that itself, they're part of the whole band. And then I went through playing football thing. Illuminati at one point. There went parts making an Illuminati sticker, poking the eye out to the whole of the recorder is the eye. It's like no matter what, they're always watching. It's Drowning Falls. Edinburgh. And it was like, 4 years later, my parents are like, hey, oh, no, look, your recorder's gone. Have fun. I'm like, oh, and my trumpet broke. Cool, great. Have fun. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a guitar then. Can you get an acoustic? I really want something loud and with really big speakers. Can you get an acoustic first? Yeah, sure. 5 days of a prepaid free trial of going somewhere and getting guitar lessons. And I knew more about the guitar than the teacher was. And he went off and disappeared for a band thing. I was like, why do you have a business? And you leave to go on a tour, and leave your friend to go back. And I didn't even talk about recorders to him because one day I left my guitar home and I was like, come on, man, let's be real here. It's prepaid. It's really just a free trial. You don't seem to want to do your job all that much. And the lady at the front's probably super annoyed that I'm not that good on purpose. But yeah, you're right. When I grabbed the guitar, I was like, what you gonna do now? I don't know, let's find out. And I started playing with Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
For an 18, 19-year-old, you're pretty good at what you do. It's like, thanks. I taught myself how to play piano. I taught myself how to play guitar. I taught I did the right to what the teachers teach. I denied myself the right to teach myself how to play recorder because the teachers were just like, oh, this is just a stepping stone to instruments, kids. Make sure you don't actually get attached to your recorder. I have notches all up in mine on the bottom end of it. How many people have annoyed? So I went off and ended up painting them. 2,000 people. It takes some skill to get an instrument going to a crowd of people and play for money. Clover does it still to this day. She'll, on her break, when she's not doing when the bar is open and drinks are on the house, she'll sit out in the street, quite literally, in her wheelchair or in a regular chair, and play on her accordion or her hurdy-gurdy and kick ass. And this one dude showed up with a grand piano, like, okay, I can actually do this. Let's go. And Clover beat his ass. She was like, okay, fine, I'll let you go first. He's like, no, ladies first. She's like, ha, you're funny. And she started speaking French. And he was like, okay, I guess you're going first then? And she started playing something like, you follow me. If you want me to go first, I'll go first. And she did a duet, like a battle of duets with him. and kicked his ass. She says you can't beat an airbag system, buttons that resemble a piano tune with a piano attached to it. I'm sorry, friend, you just can't do it. And he said, gosh, I sure as hell, when I got lost in your music, I kind of thought you were Satan trying to take my soul in a fiddling contest. It's like, thank you. He played the hell out of his piano, though. I enjoyed it. I was there. I drank it just insistent. And it's like, Clover's doing that thing again. He paid her $200. She wasn't doing it for money, but she has a sign saying tips are always, we're grateful to get tips, but we don't ask for tips. So I don't know what they're saying. And that probably didn't say it right, but Clover's really good at what she does. She may be a little strange, a little French girl and an albino French girl, but she makes it work. Give her an instrument, she'll play it. Well, not every instrument, but hurdy-gurdy, that's... What are you doing, Clover? What am I not doing? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. It's like, Clover, please stop playing Sea of Thieves. What do you want me to play? Play something even more depressing like Titanic. She's like, you sick bastard. Fine. Play me a theme of, do Sheriff Andy from, Mayberry. Do the intro to that show. She's like, fine. It almost sounds like whistling, and I'm like, okay. She's like, give me $50. I'm like, yeah, sure. I gave her $50 because she impressed me. She made her hurdy-gurdy sound like whistling. I was like, yep, she knows. Lasted. But when you give her an accordion and say, play me something, I usually say, play me something exotic, something you don't see in America. And she's like, I got to do something perfect for anyone anywhere could enjoy a good bit of accordion right there. And she played it off of the song she created on her accordion back when she lived in Paris and was playing music in the streets to survive because her mother wanted her to be an exotic dancer or something like that. And she was like, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want to do. Clover made 1 year made about $1,000, and then her mom was like, you owe me because I birthed you, like how my body kind of knows like you're time and time again.
Right.
And Clover was like, Mom, you wanted to take you and sell that money? She came over to visit Amber, because she knows Amber, that's how I met Clover. She and Amber went to school together. And honestly, of interest, like Amber was going to Paris or something, medical related. I don't even remember if it was her or the Clover that came to Australia. It's a long story short, they know each other from school. And it was like, okay, well, you can stay here, I guess, because, you know, I made a joke that what person in America is going to accept a French girl into their household? Total sarcasm. Because, you know, when she's talking to you in French, oh boy, sometimes I jokingly gonna say this out loud, but it's a joke, guys. Sometimes I wish I was married to Clover. Her voice will sweep you away, and then sweep you off your feet, and then drop you. So, don't try to woo her. It'll hurt in the end. Then one time, I did a funny thing with her. She was at her bar, and I sent William, and I was like, William, go try to fall in love with Clover. He's like, do I have to try? It's like, don't half-ass it. He said, okay, how much you paying me? Well, best case scenario is she won't shoot you. He's like, ooh, I'm intrigued. He walked right in there, and he started trying to woo her. And she's like, I'm not into guys. She walk out the door. She's like, William, come back. I'm messing with you. She got up and walked straight out the door. Like, I'm not even doing this shit. Fuck that. And then she looked at him like, oh, aren't you cute? I'm a lesbian. That's what she said, Trent. I'm lesbian, honey. Calm down. Oh, boy. He looked at me like, never again. She got him a free beer. She knows William. They're not always close, but they can get along with certain things. They both have a fond brain capacity for music and robotics. I did not know Clover could do some really dang shit with his robots. We don't. It's bad when you have a model skeleton that's robotic, and then you make its eyes roll or something, like flicker like a light bulb, and he's like, quit that. And then she'll look at the skeleton and he'll start talking for her in French. Because Clover does magic, real world magic shit, not the fake pull rabbit out of hat, or oh look a quarter, or oh hey, I see your future. If Clover sees your future, it's gonna happen. But it's like she starts making them speak, and then one of the scientists is walking around like taking inventory of something. And it's like that skeleton got off, he pulled himself off the rack and was like, oh my gosh, an inventory guy, come here, I want to give you a hug. And the guy's like, oh shit, I thought that was off. And then it falls on the floor, he's like, and the skeleton like crumples to the floor like it's lifeless. And then its eye, like one of the eyes looks like it's like, I am off. I'm being controlled as a puppet by the girl over by Williams. And she made the skeleton get back up, and she basically used her magic to make the robot part of the skeleton come to life. Very spooky, if you want to call it a spooky skeleton, but scary? No. Wasn't that scary. It probably was for the guy with the clipboard. He dropped his clipboard and his glasses. And that was probably about it. Oh, and the sanity. Can't forget about that. The skeleton was running. It wasn't just, oh my gosh, a person. Like, Fallout's book in it. The skeleton, I'm like, oh, Clover, don't do that. Don't do that. No. Most of what I'm having Clover, though, was her literally predicting the future of Bethesda. And that's later with the water bottle. Like, no, bad French witch. No. And she's like, well, I just said it's going to happen, so I know it's going to happen. But I know, but still, no. She foresaw all the shit that's happening right now with Bethesda doing the things they do, and she said dark times are ahead of all of us, and yet they're gonna think that they're gonna still believe that they're on the top of the food chain. Dark times was basically, she was saying COVID's gonna hit 2 waves, and Bethesda's still gonna believe that they can use we're on COVID watch and we're still better than you guys, basically. They're going to still do things and say that they're on top of things. She's predicting everything Bethesda's doing within one sentence, and that was almost around I would actually say a 2 weeks before Fallout first dropped. But also, not long before COVID was announced to be a thing. I had no clue that COVID was going to be a thing. Clover mentioned it. She said, watch out for the plague. It acts like the flu. Thanks, Clover. And I put my coffee and my brain's like, the flu-like plague that will become a basically pandemic at that point that acts like the flu and kills many. Amber's like, oh, she's talking about COVID. I'm like, why? What is COVID? I never turned on the radio in the day I found out about COVID. It's been ravaging America. Hey, look, that exists.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Or, like, see, I told you. She was mentioning this way back. I mean, 3 years ago, she talked about the same vision. Eat all evil, the fear in the power of God or otherwise. Fear of plague walking amongst man that acts like of a common virus of influenza and will level cities with an unbending will of death. She flat out said it 3 years ago, and here we are doing this second wave of COVID. I don't want a caged animal that happens to have the key to my cage, but judging by everything that's going on outside, I'll stay in a caged animal. I'll boost my insanity a little bit more. Gives me time to reflect on the shit I've seen over there. It's like 3 things that I did. Does me reflect. So it's better than reflecting outside in public. Oh no, he served our country and has PTSD. Get him away from us. But he's a veteran. Good job for him. Keep him away. He has PTSD. He's a danger to society. Hey, be good. Yeah, all I gotta say. I don't lash out at people like some people perceive a veteran with PTSD would do. I mean, you probably remember a couple times during July, right? I was at my grandparents' house with my kids, and and how did you remember what I told you? But why we don't shoot off fireworks on the 4th of July?
Because somebody...
You could share that.
Right. You told me that you don't enjoy fireworks during 4th of July because the thought of...
We're not talking about the dead body. We're not talking about the bodies either before you go and talk about that story.
I'm not going to talk about that.
Just making sure.
But the fact that during those fireworks, and this is something for everyone to think about, during those fireworks, it's pretty loud. And you can't tell the difference between a explosion in the middle of the sky and a distant gunshot. Now think about that for a second. What does that lead to entail?
Also couple the fact that I was around artillery for a long time as well. I've been there a few times out in the field, being like right next to artillery going off and launching it. So to me, fireworks themselves trigger lots of unfriendly memories of being in an artillery battery and having to not shoot it but be around it, then shipping off to go do on foot or in Humvee, trek out somewhere, and then have to get into a gunfight every hour or so. Every so often you had to do a gunfight with something or someone. Cars got blown up, people got killed, and it was like... And I even made a joke saying I'm gonna love coming back home towards the 4th of July, or being home for the 4th of July. It did one of my officers pat me on the back and said, "Yeah, me too, buddy. I'm getting tired of hearing the booms." he made it sound like that, but he called the 4th of July cannon fodder. We both kept making jokes about. We both kept making explosive jokes. And then we stopped because combat. But it was funny because me and him for like 5 minutes up, we were like, guess you could say that the police have a little bit of a short fuse when it comes to fireworks, huh? Like, yeah, I hate to be the spark that ignites it all over again, but 4th of July was a great day to celebrate explosions. Or something like they said about explosions, and they made a reference to a past war where fireworks were even at one point completely flatlined because people were worried about getting bombed. Fireworks would accidentally signal enemy bombings, planes. They would think it was an accidental color code and they bombed their own cities. It's like, well, okay. Unless it was a civilian, well, okay, we can't do anything about it now. Keep going. As shot down by, shit happens, I guess. But we were making jokes for me not to go bonkers because me and him both knew I would. I was the only person on the whole thing with a number listed, a 3-digit number listed on my what I'm gonna call my "Hello, my name is." Every soldier gets it. It's like their last name. I had a 3-digit number, and when he got me, he was like, "Do I call you 97 or 097 or Tommy Gas?" That works too. And from that point forward, he laughed and he realized real quick. And I mean, like the next few hours, real quick, why I have a 3-digit insignia on my badging and not a last name. He remembered. I did the military before. I was what I call legal military, when they're actually in a rank of their own. I was in my own military group that I created right out of high school for small things. I was like okay, this will do. I don't want anything big yet. It was for people who already had the training, and a lot of them were like guns for hire for countries, like the IR, which is a thing. So probably not a lot of citizens know that. You could, give me a second. Garbage day. It's garbage day. Okay. It was garbage day, or Thursday. Garbage day. Yeah, I'll get on that. We can still talk about it. Like, he still calls me by my birthday. He doesn't ever. They don't recognize it, so. Yeah. I need to make sure my trash is empty because that's full of tissues and Pop-Tart wrappers.
Okay.
Every day Sabrina gets up and eats a Pop-Tart. It's like, don't eat all of that. Save it for your sister James when she gets up. And then James will get up, I want a Pop-Tart. And Sabrina's like, here, I'll get you a packet of it, but you're not getting this one. It's like, I'm watching you, kid. Well, okay. I don't want to take the trash can with me. I almost took the trash can out with me for no reason. Well, he must have did his side of the house, their house. I didn't even think it was today. Me and Amber had no clue. My sister's work, they usually, fishing over. He's over here too. I don't know why. I'm not going to say shit about it because, again, they're not supposed to be here, but they do. There's the point of moving away, and they don't stay away. They don't. How to put this? They don't. They can't comprehend that I'm, something else now. I'm not there. No longer their baby bird in the nest thing. My parents can't handle it. Like I said, I've told you before, the amount of paperwork I had to get out of the way from them. They couldn't handle it. What was I talking about before? Oh, yeah, artillery. What else do you want to talk about then? Since we kind of made a rant about Fallout and how bad it is.
Right.
And how an uprising.
I wanted to mention something real quick. It's bad enough that when I was a low level, and you know about the people I hung around with, fuck them.
They're bad.
Yeah, they're fucking stupid. But
yeah,
here.
Right.
So get this. When I was a low level, I had to deal with level 100, or not level 1, level 60, 40 enemies because I was hanging around with him in a team.
Spider patches. Spider. Oh, they're watching Food Network. Sorry, what were we talking about? I was slightly distracted, bro. I'm like, oh no.
You're fine. It happens. But I was just talking about the fact that when you're I don't know if it happens anymore, but when you were in a low team with a high level, or you were low level in a team with a high level, you had to deal with the high level enemies when they went into buildings. You were pretty fucked.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you manage to not die,
you get a shit ton of XP.
Benefit, correct? But that was if they helped you.
Right.
There is a problem with that method, though, that I don't like, is that for the sake of let me help you out, I may accidentally not take care of you. I just heard the clang of my M1 Grand. Amber must have found bullets that make it work. I ain't found any bullets yet. The reloading the magazine well was not as fun as it looked. I'm talking to a friend of mine. Because, due to the rain, I'm trying not to get on my Xbox.
Due to the sake of you might crash.
It never, rains. It's been, don't get into that. It's got bad webbage. It's dark web. Oh, shit. Oh, boy, that stinks.
Ooh.
I hope this thing flies. Trash cans smell, bro. I don't know if they bite or not. One thing that really annoys me the most. Alright, well, I'm moving out here a little bit. Like that. Ooh, it stank. One thing that always bothered me about trash is that one meal you always had, and then it smells.
Yeah.
Ooh, it stinks. Yeah, be careful reaching in there. I saw some very unfriendly looking webbage. I saw lots of webbage in there. It didn't look like fun. Spiderwebs. Cobwebs, bro. They have nothing to do with corn. That stinks. God. It smells like patches. I love that dog. How big was that Centurbot model you mentioned before?
I don't know. I'll have to go back on the website real quick.
What's that? I bet. Okay. I know what that is. It's feed, isn't it? Yeah. How did you not know it was in? Did you know it was in there?
No, I didn't know.
Hold your breath for this. Watch them flies flow out. Good? Yeah, it stinks. I know. I'll take it down. I'll take the other one in a second. Don't sniff it.
Oh.
Yeah, we got rotten corn for deer feed, and the trash can has flies flying out of it, and I flipped the lid. It's... I'm sort of used to it. I know it stings ahead of time. I'll put the gas mask or mask on. I'll filter that same air I'm breathing out. It smells. Probably the worst times I've ever seen. The worst ends of the our talks yet. The one times I can't stand doing this, because I'm the one who usually does it, is chicken night. When you get a chicken, it's bony, and then what you do with the bone when you get done with it, or whether it's left off the bone that wasn't edible, put it in the trash can, right?
Right.
I talk about Wednesdays sometimes in my family before this moving was chicken night, and
oh
never
boy.
again. Never again. I came inside one day and said it stinks in the house. Never again. We very rarely will have chicken on Wednesdays. No, I haven't.
But that Annihilator Centurbot model that I told you about was about 9 inches.
That's all. 9 inches.
It's not much,
right.
Guys. For whoever's interested, that's about 4 inches bigger than my dick.
At least you're measuring, I guess. 1% she liked it, no matter how small it was, but you never came to give her 1%. You go pick yourself up.
Thanks.
Yeah. What? Fuck no. I was over there today and didn't smell anything. Worse than a chicken? Chicken?
Yeah, it smells worse than dead chicken.
Well, I said chicken on Wednesday and Thursday is a garbage day. They got me pretty good. I ain't smelling it. That stinks. You're smelling it, no? I'm not going to risk it. Hey, now you got to do is they have reason to get a gas mask or a hazmat suit, walk out there and clean it, I guess. What was that even for? Like the case? What was the case even for? That was in the thing. What,
Is it?
yeah, what's in it? Yeah? And they had deer food? Oh, gross. On a scale of 1 to yes, how bad do you rate that smell? Yes. Very yes. I learned my lesson on those moments. Don't sniff. Willow walked back behind it one time yesterday. She was like, I'm like, Willow, chill. Oh, there goes her, large 2 cups worth of food that she has munched on. Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
Not this fucker. No siree. I've smelled worse in my lifetime, but I've also smelled better. So, hi, Patches. Speaking about stank, Patch is looking at me like, hi. She's annoying. He's probably avoiding us because Clover, he was in Clover's lap a second ago. She's sitting in her wheelchair and she's just chilling. And then it's like, I gotta go get this bag off there. Shit. Trying to put it back in the garbage can. I keep forgetting that. Stop distracting me from by jeez.
Sorry.
That's what you do is make a contraption that reminds you to put a bag back in the garbage can when you don't have one. Because they'll come over to your certain big parties and shit, and they'll be like, hey, you know, you can try to let him over here and be friendly. And where's the bag back in the garbage can? Oh, there's no bag in it. Patches, did you put the bag back in the trash can? Say, no, I don't have thumbs. Look at dust. In the face. Dog face. Dog face. So, look at that dog face, and Patches is like, oh, yeah, thanks. All that reps we like to eat. Okay. I see it in Mars. Yeah, look at that black tail swishing around. And she's like, yeah, AC, thank you.
I needed that.
I love my kids. I love my kids. Kate's sitting here like meditating in front of AC unit. What are you doing? Stop. I don't want to smell you when they see you're gone. That's cold. That's cold, Kate. It's gotta be sitting out 20. It's only 74 in here. The hours it'll be 50, maybe 60. But I don't know what else we're gonna do if I'm not on Fallout.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, I'll try to minimize my time playing it. Things need to happen. Things need to get more simple. You know, things are not doing the right. Don't fit in the same puzzle. And again, Fallout 76 to me is not a Fallout game. And some people will have been asking me in the past, why do you feel that way? Well, get a Fallout game like Fallout, I'll refer to Fallout 3 or New Vegas as Van Buren. Look at that game. It's canonically later on in the game's universe over, okay, it's canonically after Fallout 76. Deleted. Filled in a void. You know, and Fallout 76 was kind of like what I do with my books. The soldier and his cap. We don't have a problem with your existing canon, but we're going to put a game before it. My book is like, oh wow, great, the canon. Well, mine is supposed to take place just long after Fallout. With references of the game, but for legal reasons, as you saw with the power armor. I'm just gonna not mention when I get to my character's biography, where it talks about or his in-depth perceptive thing. I'm not gonna mention which one he likes. I don't trust them. They were willing to steal from us flat out and say, it's in our game now, so thanks. Well, what is due? Please, what is due? They're making money off of something I made.
They're literally stealing your creation.
My end's free. So, it wasn't hard to make. It actually took a couple references to small explosives on planes to a bomb. It was, stencil to make it look like I have actual armor cover the tank. But I'm not going to show it because, again, legal reasons, I don't want them to get hold of it. But I have a tank that's for the game as a model. It's a model tank I made, 3D printed and everything for the game as a paperweight statue of the railgun tank that was painted as such to go undercover. And afterwards, the tank's model is actually, the model of the tank is actually when they come back And the game's canon, you're supposed to get all them back you're supposed to get the tank back and then rescue the men that were captured. And if you get them all back alive, the tank will be shown up at the end of the game as fine. You get a great ending, you get a gold star, all this other stuff, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Small things. So little things that are, and it looks like maybe a little bit warmer weather, like it was used a bit more. But it says something like next time. It might be into another game, but we had big plans for a 2-game series. But we have like one very large game that's technically within itself 2 games. Technically, as far as storytelling is, and then have another game right after it that was technically kind of a DLC that was free. The DLC you pay for. I was going to make a free DLC that comes that you can get later on or with the game as your leisure. It gives a bit more stuff to do in the game, but it came as a disc. It's about as worth as an actual game. So I was kind of thinking either DLC or currently it says DLC. But I can always go back and say, well, we picked to make it a second game. You know, a part 2, like World War I, World War II, and peanut butter jelly, ice cream and sandwich. You know, all that nonsense.
Right.
So, but right now it's a DLC. It's registered in the game's code as DLC. You get it via some other method where it's in the game. You have to just get the code to link it and open it. Like those weird games like Dark Souls have. But I can't do that. I'm afraid to do that now because they're gonna copyright claim me, and then they're already my freedom and made it for. I made this with some simple tools and some other systems to make my own model of this tank, and now I'm afraid to even show it or talk about it too much. And figure they're gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, cool, he's making the game." When it comes out, make sure we copyright claim him for stealing our paint that we stole from him. Don't mention that we stole it from him, though. We'll take him to court and make him pay millions of dollars in court fees just to screw him over. You know, not only would he be broke, but he'd be gameless because we could walk out with his game. It's very depressing because you knew it's not theirs, but they're going to say it's theirs, and they're even going to produce paperwork. You know, they were very, very, very methodical about how they did it. To go even far as if anyone questions them, they have a set of documents basically going, well, we got into it first and it's not his anymore, but it says it's theirs from the beginning. And it's not.
It's not, it's yours.
It's depressing. It's depressing because a big company like that has access to stuff like that lets it be, that lets it look more legit. Or even if it's not theirs, even though we didn't commit them, we did commit the murder. We have enough data proving that it was an in-game murder and not a real murder. And for him actually being dead IRL is not our fault. But turns out it was, but they throw a bunch of zeros in a game's perspective. Them basically getting away with it no matter what. It's a monopoly. If anything, it's like a monopoly. Your ideas belong to them because you play the game. The ideas of mods that people will talk about on the internet, mods for Fallout, the possible mods for the private server, even if it's theirs and it's legally the individual who thought of it, Bethesda can go in and add it to their game and say, well, they were just stealing from us. And for those who may think that's not possible, they wouldn't do it. You don't know how big business really works, especially when someone else is doing something that'll make them lots of money if they did it. That's why Xbox was like, we're releasing a new system, and PlayStation's like, not if we release it first. We're going to beat you to it. Well, we'll go back even further than that. It's like about Ford and Chevy. Ford, Chevy, BMW, General Motors. They all exist where they are now because of that feud went through for all of them. Where it's like, hey, look, look what we did in World War One. We were an ambulance. And Jeep's like, World War Two and World War One, we were a Jeep. Had fun. And then what was it? Mercedes, I think Chrysler both had a hand in World War II. There was a Mercedes engine in a tank, I believe, and if I recall correctly, it was either BMW or it was Chrysler. That was the plane. I know Dodge put their hand in the bombers the second the war was announced. But we got a bomber for that. Dodge Hellcat. Yeah. To those who don't know cars, Dodge Hellcat car is basically take the plane, make it an internal combustion engine, put it in a car. Yeah. Good. Nowadays, it could probably only blow up 4 houses. Back then, it blew up whole cities because they do like 2 on the wings. They drop both of them at a certain angle, and they fly up and be out of range when it blows up and levels the skyscraper, which went big back then. That's what Williams got. Of course, he has the explosives, but they're stored in bionics and robotics. So have fun trying to find it, because he says, for those who dare think that they can break in via digging tunnels or just decide, hey, I'm going to wander in this crazy man's factory, good luck. If you think I got nuclear missiles, you might be right, but you'll never find them. Because under your feet are thousands upon thousands of tunnels that all link to each other. None have a clear entrance. Only I, and I alone, my friend Gas, will know where this room is that supposedly contains nuclear warheads from a Dodge Hellcat car. He actually does have a nuclear missile, but he's doing something with it to make it not go kerblam. He's going to do something more fun with it. He's going to make it give it space. We'll watch him. He's basically, with what I understand, and as the non-classified stuff, he said, dude, I'm going to take this nuclear missile that I found, and I'm going to turn it into a rocket that's going to go into space and then turn itself into a transforming nanobot-style satellite dish. What's it going to do? Yes. And he just walked off into the dark hallway that they led to, and I was like, okay, I'll take yes. That sounds something for me to be on board with. I'm always politely on board with the shit he does, because he never does anything to kill anybody. And you know the story about William, and that his last name and other reasons.
Yeah.
He don't hurt nobody. He has no reason to kill people and stuff them or anything like the game would make him out to be. And he's actually making lots of money because of that. The quarter against Scott Coughlin and that name, good old name of William Affen, and all of a sudden Scott's like, hey, look, there's actually a person with that name that's been alive a lot longer than the games have been out. He's older than Scott. Now, his age varies, of course, but he's not a kid. He'll tell you different things on purpose, because again, he is a little bit robotic himself, and due to the depression of losing his wife to cancer, he suppresses a lot of stuff about who he is and holds on to what he needs to be to make her dream a reality. So I'm gonna say he's got to be damn near around 80 years old. He acts like it sometimes. Did the paperwork, doing the scribbles and the paperwork, and oh my gosh, why can't I turn on my computer? Because it's unplugged out there. He looks around all over the place like, where's the cord? You have dementia, damn it. It's right here. I pulled his computer up. He's like, oh, look, it's on. Wow, I'm a genius. I think he's a little bonkers, but I call him an old man. I say he's 80 because he just doesn't. Did you sleep today, William? Sleep? Oh, do sleep. Sleep, let's help. How do sleep? And Alice is sitting in my arms. I brought her to the factory one day, and she's not allowed to wander Alice, you know what Alice is, and her running around like worries the scientists, or like anything with solid blue orbs basically for eyes is not fit for human interaction. And Alice is like, hey, hi, what you doing? Hi. He's trying to communicate with him, and like, what are you even? So I'm Alice. That day specifically, one of the 2 days, the first day I ever brought her to William's factory to see William, she said the phrase that was said in our Discord, that the cotton candy bows make everything better. She's talking about the color palette. Bows make everything better. She believes it. But whether you want to call it, what she uses those bows for sadistic. And then she's like, and if you keep trying to talk, she'll tighten it up. And it's like, oh look, bondage, lol. I had to make a sex show. Because that's what I said to her. I'm like, Alice, I'm not into this kind of stuff. If you want to do that, but try to choke Clover. She might enjoy it. Oh yes, tighter, yes. She almost killed me. She almost killed me. I love Alice though. She's adorable. I mean, I can't hate her. She's adorable. Anything with those, her eyes are solid blue. And the only thing you do, so it's like take a blue-eyed person and reverse the color palettes, where the white is the center and the blue is the background. That's Alice. There's days where her eyes are almost solid white with a little thin layer of blue, and it's like, Alice, did you play with the Ouija board again? She's like, what's that? Oh, you mean the litter box? Yeah, that shows you what she thinks about demons. That's a litter box. That's not a Ouija board. But she just has those moments where she's like, I'm focusing. Shh, focusing. You play the SpongeBob theme if you want focusing. you get what I'm saying? That's Alice. And her eyes are like pure white. It's like, focusing, huh? And she blinks and her eyes are turned blue again. It's like, oh, I see how it is. You break my focus. What are you doing, Patrick? Focusing. Nice place you got here. I gotta make a war joke with that. That's a whole war joke with it itself, though. It's an actual. A lot of those shows are really bad for your brain, and a lot of kids don't know that SpongeBob is gay, and some of the things that they do in their adventures with SpongeBob and Patrick are really bad. Like the depiction of World War II, World War III / the apocalypse. There's racism and sexism, and racism being them messing with Andy about Texas. How many squirrels did they take to screw in a light bulb? That was flat out racism.
Oh, God.
None, because they're so stupid. And that's literally stand-up comedy when people decided that the minority can be a punchline. You know, shows are dangerous for you. They're dangerous.
I spent more time...
Well, you know those shows, the shows that no matter how much brain bleach you add, you still can never forget.
I think it's better that I spent more time playing video games than watching TV.
Yay. I'm not cured. Ooh. Get it, Alice, get it, Alice, get it, Alice, get it. She found something to chase. I don't know what it is, but she's chasing it. I found snack, bro. I must slurp it like a noodle. Well, okay.
Snack.
Like a noodle. And she'll get right in there like a noodle. She'll kill that motherfucker. She found one yesterday. It was a copperhead, cottonmouth, cobra. I don't even fucking know. It looked at her and she's like, come here. And she bit its head off. And it's like, she sucked it so hard that she shelled all the scales off of it. And then she stuck it up like a noodle. Then proceeded to puke the skeleton out a few minutes later. Okay. The acid in her stomach ate everything inside that snake but the bones. And like, Alex, I know you can do better than that. You eat car batteries and diesel engine batteries and do some pretty dangerous things to humans. And you can't eat a snake skeleton? She's like, yeah, I'm not magic or anything.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I also remember the time I told you about she would got a little kinky with it. That was apparently a moveset thing. She was using what the world equivalent to covet is, being a whore, basically. Seducing
Oh god.
someone or something into sexual submission. Well, Alice is weird, okay? But see, again, like I mentioned before, the world's not ready for Pokemon to be a thing. So I keep Alice away from people because she is not. Just because she's pink and cute doesn't mean she's safe for people. She'll kill a kid in a heartbeat and she'll strangle people. She's been known to quite literally hang people, lift their bodies off the ground and hang them. And not strangle them. Alice is not always the nicest. What's she doing, Alice? I'm staring this guy down while he's dying. Why are you hanging him? Because he sneezed in my direction. So, Alice, you can't do that. I'm sitting here beating North of Sand. I'm like, let him go. And I got to the one point where I was like, I'm going to save this dude's life by almost ending her. I grabbed her by her neck and I choked her out until she let him go. And then, sorry about that. He almost died by Alice. And she's like, I'm just there gagging and coughing. Like, you stop that. You stop that. That's gross. She was so mad. I don't know what he did to her. I don't know if he even did anything to her. But it was like, Alice, why? What do?
Why?
Yeah, I think a lot of these viewers, if they don't already know, I think a lot of your viewers will probably, if they don't already know, that our family's a little strange, and Alice is a science experiment. But one that I would say succeeded very well. Whoever said that genetic splicing and one good dream and lots of science could take the world to a dark age or a new era. However you want to look at it. Alice is not the most friendliest of creatures, but she can beat your science any day. Screw gravity. Where'd Alice go? Invisible.
Screw
How
gravity.
Did you do that? I'm invisible. That went on for 5 hours, man. Where'd Alice go? Shh, I'm invisible. You look around, there's no Alice. I'm like, okay. I can see that, Alice. Where are you at then? Shh, I'm not here. I'm invisible. I was like, alright then. Yeah, I see that. But where are you? I opened that treat bag that she likes. She's like, oh, fuck yeah, food. I'm like, gotcha, bitch. She's like, damn it. I see what she did there. You can't have his treat. And she looked at me and she blankly stared. And she's like, has treats? Yes. I'm like, no. We don't have treats. We don't give treats to invisible Sylveons. She's like, damn. Okay. Well, if I don't go invisible, do I get a treat? No. You don't need a chameleon mutation, is what I made a joke about. And she's like, oh, but I could have a treat then, right? I put the treat bag up where she couldn't get it, and she's like, damn, it's not fair. Yeah, it is.
You went on for 5 hours. It's totally fair.
It's totally fair. She also missed dinner. That's kind of what I was trying to find her. I was going to try to feed her, and then, nope. I'm not here. I'm invisible. Yeah, I know.
But where is?
Clover was like, hey, if we actually acknowledge your existence, she's invisible, it's great. Oh. Well, I don't know. I don't know. You gotta smell that corn and puke. I didn't even smell it.
I like somebody that dad's gonna have to. I said, just walk back in that audience. I said, are you gonna just walk in? rotten corn. I did get pissed off sometimes.
Really? Thank you, because that's something that
When I caught it started to be a problem.
I had no clue. Golly knew, and this is not anything that they would get in trouble for hearing. I knew he died. I was told. I was not told that happened. Pleasing in a way. Jesus, there's something about someone dying that fills their room with life. And she yammers on about the afterlife, and I think she meant though was take someone to die to bring the whole family together, even if the family's been unconnected for years. There was people that I've never seen before. You know, my mom, my dad's side of the family, I'd never known. It's here trying, I know you were a baby, and I'm like, huh, stranger danger, I guess. And then who's this cutie? And they're messing with cake, and it's like, you know, as she does when she has to interact. And I was like, hey, be nice. He did not like the Mars We flat out left Mars and Amber out. Because, oh, not really, man. I know she was with us, but they were both with us. But Mars started having a problem because, Mars, a black cat hybrid. But she's half human, half black cat. And she hates being outside. It just kills her, the poor thing. But she did her little, when the funeral was started, she was like, yes, AC. And she fell asleep during the sermon. And then it was like, oh, that's over. Hey, Mars, we gotta be home. It's like, but the AC unit, it's hot. Amber took her home early. But I also found it funny, though. It was like, but while at funeral home, I have a tattoo truck that's like 6 doors long. Or was it 3 in each side? He had 6 doors total. And then me and Amber pull up in my tank. It's like, where's the funeral? Are we at the right place? And the dude in the truck's like, okay. Nut inflation activate. I couldn't help it, man. I didn't want it. I don't have a car. I mean, a tank. Am I here? Is this the right place? Yeah. Are you a family member? Yep. Where'd you come from? World War II? Nope. America. Yeah. Me and him did not get along well. I think he was. I think he said he lost about 2,000 sperm cells that day. Nut inflation. I parked right next to him too. He was like, I didn't park close enough to the barrel was like, oh shit, or hey, I can't move your tank because the treads are in the way of my door. But I parked close enough to him that when he left, he had to see the tank to go. I don't like people in big cars. The ones that are like 6 feet, 8 foot, 9 feet off the ground. The tires are fucking huge. Why don't you go?
Oh yeah, like they're trying to be a fucking monster truck.
And then the ones that aren't are like, I'm like, no, it's 6 in the morning. And then you wonder why Clover takes shots at you. Just shooting off blank shotgun charges at people because they're like, she's like, no. It wakes everyone in the house up, and there's this one dude with the spider, not the spider. The thing that's like the back wheel is the steering system, and the front bit's a car. Retired old man, ex-Playboy stuff. It buzzes, and the ground vibrates. Annoying. Clover made his car mess up one day. He was driving past her house going somewhere. On the way back, all 4 of the tires busted and burnt up. And I looked at, she was like, good riddance. And then she moved her hand right before it happened. And she did something like a slice with her fingers. And it was like, all the tires went pop instantly. And he just skidded across the road. And she's like, good riddance. And she went inside and like, Clover, did you do that? And she was like, yeah. No, my fault if he has to pay a couple $1,000s a tire. It's his fault because he's loud. I was like, fair enough. I agree.
Right.
But, again, I'm used to hearing tank treads and Williams Hellcat or the Dodge. Either one, the plane or otherwise. They're loud, but it's doable compared to what I've heard before in past years. Glass pipes. It's the loudest thing you can get. It makes your car uglier. Those people that go up and they have this little sedan or Nissan Altima, and they roll up and their car's all decked out with fake branding. They have stickers that make their car look like it has air screws for extra air, like their engine's better than what it is.
Oh God,
all this other stuff.
Just the flex car.
And then you see Amber's new car. Yeah, I pulled some strings and got Amber a Humvee. She's like, I'm going to pay a lot of money now. It was paid for. The gas is very expensive, but it's doable because I have fundage to have enough gas canisters. We basically just buy the gas and we fill them up in those, ration crate thingies that you get on the back of Jeeps sometimes. Some Jeeps come with, for no reason, an extra gas can. We have a bunch of those at home because I keep telling her one day it's getting too expensive to fill it up with gas. So we're only gonna go if it needs gas. You let me know. We'll get in the car with Clover, or if Clover doesn't feel like smelling my gasoline, I'll go snatch up Alice, and me and her can go in the tank. She loves to ride in the tank. She's like, it's so hot in here. Whoa, I can actually bump you. And she's baffled. She'll pop her head out open the hatch and pop her head out the window, like tongue hanging out, ears way back. But she's like, yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
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 Just,
She loves it. Well, she's in Clover's car, like, I can't hear anything. But she has a field day in that tank.
Oh, God.
She loves it. I'm like, Alice, I'm going to drive the tank. And we'll go, fuck yeah. Well, except for that one time that she was hurt. Even then, she was like, you're going to put me in the tank. I want to, but I can't get up. I bet you remember that day. It was, she's a little dangerous for her own good sometimes, too.
Sometimes she's even dangerous to herself. She managed to
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
She's done some pretty hard shit to
She
herself.
managed to intoxicate herself for a few days.
Created for real life. What happened?
She managed to intoxicate. Oh yeah. By the way, I wanted to mention this before I continue. Mage is on if you want to get on and do that. But.
Well, okay. She's done some pretty dangerous shit to herself.
She managed to intoxicate herself for a few days.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was an interesting few days. It was like nitrous or something, nitrous oxide.
You know catnip is catnip, right?
Yeah.
Catnip works for animals. Alice is not a cat. She's a cat, a dog. At this point, just those two, I believe. She doesn't have rabbit feet, nor does her jump. Her muscles are tight, yes, but not enough to be like, oh my gosh, there's a fence. Oh my gosh, the dog catcher. Wheel and just effortlessly jumps over the. She's not springing step, but she doesn't. We can really only say she's a dog or a fox or a cat. Either of those three are fine. She has DNA for those three. We did a funny thing with Alice too. Messed with my police buddies, and we made a fake FBI's Most Wanted picture for Alice, and then they put it up on the FBI's Most Wanted list 1 year. I sent it to all my police friends that I know from when I came back to exactly the second day, the day I came to see you was the second day I was home, and I told my friend, let's go. And we posted it on FBI's Most Wanted. What was she wanted for? Public nudity and intentionally getting high off of catnip. And it's like, and I had my guys, like, they knew it was a joke when they saw it. It's guys that are the government thing. I had a guy in a suit and tie show up as like a real Men in Black scenario. He said, we have to confiscate your dog. Or he said yes. So I even added, alias, yes. Enjoy strangling with bows and being happy too much, possibly is gay. And the dude shows up acting like a Men in Black. I was like, I have to confiscate your catnip, sir. Alice, he bends over, points at Alice, and Alice is like, sir? Who the fuck are you talking to? He's like, you're most wanted, you're FBI's prime suspect. And he even added something to the story. He's like, you're known for jumping 6 countries and trying to hide out in a Nazi bunker in Germany. You're a really bad dude. Alice was like, the dude?
Excuse me?
It was all alive. It was scripted, like the night that she's overly happy, possibly gets gay. I was a bit happy, but it was just funny how he added some things to it, like he called her a guy many times over. He also was like, if you're going to resist, I'm going to use this. And he put it in her face. She's like, what does it do? He put his glasses on like a different shade. He flashed it once and he flashed it again. And she's like, what does it do? She was not even affected by it. And after, like, 6 8 flashes, she was like, okay, now you're starting to annoy me. He was like, flash, 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 flash. Serious spamming it. And it's like, what are you trying to do? Her brain, her optic sensors to her brain are not like most animals or people. You can't just flash them with that pin and say, forget. It was a goldfish in the sewer. For this way, don't flush them. You know, a Men in Black women. Those are real objects, and they are very bad for your eyes, in case you didn't know. Blinding is a thing, but I just thought it was like, is he sitting there flashing? I'm just sitting there looking at it like, how does this make people forget? Flash. How does this make people forget? Flash. How does this make people forget? And Amber's like, stop. I'm like, what did I do? Where did you come from, Amber? Yeah, I was actually sitting there suffering from it. I was just like, my brain was like, you're in it in this loop, but I don't. You're in it in this loop, but I don't care. You're in it in this loop, but I don't care. It works. It uses the brain's ability to process light from a simple minor like sun ray to a eye socket melting, like needle in eyeball style pain, if that's what you want to call it. Like I just sort of sticking a sharp object in your eye and into your brain, and your brain's screaming as loud as it can. It does hurt, the flash, but because you don't remember what do, you don't really feel it. I guess that's what it was called. You're like, lol, I don't know. Flash, lol, I don't know. Lol, I don't know. And then they ask you a couple of questions. I got one right now. It's very fun to have, but if you're not careful with it, you can go blind, do whatever thought so, and your eyes will hurt, yes. But it's fun because I'm just entertaining it. Amber's like, "Can you stop?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, Amber." I almost like called her for something else, and she's like, "You don't even." And she picked me up and she practically dragged me by my shoulders like I was a wounded soldier, driving me in the next room because I was like sitting on the floor with Mars coloring. She was just so cute. She was like, "Dad, do you want to color with me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, Mars. I could go do that." And then I'm sitting on the floor like, lol, coloring. It's fun. Yes, 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 yes. And then Mars is like, "Dad, you're really bad at coloring." That's okay. That was Sabrina. Flat out just dissed her older sister. And Casey, I'm not bad at coloring. She's like, "Yeah, a little." Casey, all this mentally. It's just so funny because she's like, "Wow, thanks. You're welcome, sis. I don't want to lie to you."
On that,
I was like, "Ooh."
on that note,
But she's like, "Your dad, you got the worst. You got the worst of all of them, though. So you can't really celebrate." I'm like, damn. I just patted Alice with my foot, and she's like, "Hi."
Hi.
Hi.
But on that note, this has been going on for what, 3 hours? Almost 4.
That was Bethesda.
Yeah, hashtag ban Bethesda. But thank you. I'm gonna end this here. But thank you, Gas, for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for sitting here and listening to me yammer about how bad the game is and other things as well.
I have no problem because in many ways, I agree. But thank you guys.
They need to get noticed.
If any of you guys are watching, spread the word. Do something. Help us out. But I'm going to end this here. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. This is going to be the first of many streams that we're going to do about this. But